all this season.
You had a feeling there would be plenty of scoring between the Jets and Bills in Buffalo, and that's why we bring in now to NFL Primetime John Saunders, whose addition skills are superior to the rest of us. John.
Plenty of adding to do in this one, and as you would expect, a close one as well. Last season, when the New York Jets were off to a 10-1 start, they piled up 2 of those wins against Buffalo, but the Bills lost those 2 by a total of just 5 points. In fact, thanks to quarterback Jim Kelly, the Bills were in many of their losses last year. Today, again, it would be the Kelly and his counterpart, Ken O'Brien show. Ken O'Brien, of course, of the Jets. A beautiful day in Buffalo. 75,000 on at Rich Stadium. Machine gun quarterback Jim Kelly got things going in the second quarter. He finds another alumnus from the United States Football League, Trumaine Johnson, for the 26-yard touchdown. Watch the hit Johnson takes as he takes it into the end zone. Buffalo up 7-0 early. That opened the floodgate of points. O'Brien to Wesley Walker, 55 yards on the bomb. What a great grab by Walker, who is legally blind in one eye. You can't tell him to catch that ball. Now, final Jet drive of the half. O'Brien 6 of 7 on the drive. Here across the middle to Mickey Schuler. This Schuler's 300th NFL career reception, and it's good for a touchdown, 14-7 at the half. Jets get a field goal to make it 17-7, but Kelly closes the gap by hitting Chris Burkett. Now watch it again on the replay on this 6-yard touchdown pass. Burkett has Russell Carter all over him. He's draped across him like a rug and still makes the catch. 17-14 Jets on top. A Jets touchdown, and it's 24-14 late in the third quarter. Chris Burkett is nailed again by Russell Carter. Carter trying to do anything he can to stop the completion, and he does. It's pass interference, but he can't believe it. He holds up his hand and says, "I did nothing," says Carter. Later in the fourth quarter, big Buffalo mistake. Kelly's pass is deflected and picked off by the linebacker, Bob Crable. He carries this one down to the 4-yard line as he has Jim Kelly, the quarterback, making the tackle, getting it down to the 4. And here's the clincher. Johnny Hector, who had 2 touchdowns on the day, goes over the top, does break the plane, gets it in the end zone, 31-28. That is the 7th consecutive time that the New York Jets have beaten the Buffalo Bills, although the last 3 times it's been very close. Ken O'Brien of the Jets, 24 of 35 for 276 yards and the 2 touchdowns. Johnny Hector, you saw 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jim Kelly, another good day. 25 of 42, 305 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now the Bills have just 1 win in their last 20 games against playoff teams. So as you can see, Buffalo and Jim Kelly cannot do it by themselves. Let's go back to Chris and to Tom.
All right, John, we'll see you a little bit later on in the program. Meanwhile, let's go down from Buffalo.
Watch for the blitz. Here they come.
Kelly throws. Man's open. Touchdown, Buffalo. What a play. Snap to Kelly. Here comes the rush. Here's a throw. Man's open.
Up just like the fans did not at Rich Stadium. They said about 9,000. Didn't look like it. Gary Hogaboom never actually went on strike. And here he flips this one to Walter Murray, who crossed the picket line both ways, came off the strike, back on strike, and then back to work again. 37 yards for the touchdown. 7-0 Colts in the first quarter. Dan Minucci pitches to running back Leonard Williams, who bobbles the ball, and the Colts come up with it. Marv Levy says these guys aren't replacing anybody at this point. Hogaboom just rolled along 7-0 Colts, second quarter, and he tosses this one to Walter Murray, who hauls it in. His second touchdown catch of the day, 7 receptions for 161 yards. Meanwhile, still in the second quarter, it's 14-0 Colts, and Hogaboom spins left. Notice the fans sitting in the blue section, not many of them. The ball is tipped, but Joe Jones catches the ball and hauls it in 4 yards on the play, 21-0. Have you ever heard of this penalty called against the Bills?
The field through the end zone, 5-yard penalty.
You can't leave the field through the end zone. You have to do it through the sidelines. Marv Levy says, what's going on? Hogaboom again hits James Noble from 18 yards out. 35-0 at this point. Noble had a good day, 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gary Hogaboom on the sidelines after that, finished with a big day, 259 yards passing. More importantly, he had 5 touchdown passes. It took the Indianapolis
teams. It's the throng of 12 thou at Foxborough, lowest in 26 years, but with a message for those that showed up. First half, the Bills passing offense, Willie Totten threw for 12,000 yards to Jerry Rice, accompanied in college, threw for -4 in the first half. Meanwhile, the Patriots had pretty good success on the ground. Mike LeBlanc, well, hockey season's underway, and he carried the ball 35 times. That's what is that, 35. Second most in Pat's history. This a 42-yard gain. He had 146 yards. This sets up Carl Woods' 4-yard touchdown run. 7-0 Patriots at the half. Turnovers killed Buffalo today. Totten fumbles the snap. New England recovers. 3 fumbles on the day for Buffalo, and or at least at this point, and the Patriots turn that into a touchdown, 14-0. In the fourth quarter, Allen receding Herline's punt is blocked by Buffalo, and that will lead to a touchdown, and the Bills are within 14-7. Now, with the clock running down, 14-7, Totten has the final play of the game, but look what he does.
The guy must have gone to the Sam Weiss School of 2-minute drills.
Some things are never forgotten, and once again we are reminded it's a rough room as the Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills today by the score of 14-7. And Axe, I know you really like to encourage him. We do have word now, Pete. You should know this. It is all over in Buffalo, and the Buffalo Bills have come up with a field goal, and the defending champion Giants are 0-5. The Bills 6 showed up instead. Some familiar names return to the Super Bowl champions. Jeff Rutledge playing quarterback for the Giants. First snap, fumble. Van Williams has to fall on it. Bill Parcells says, not again. Lawrence Taylor back being blocked by Rick Schulte. Goes down, watch Schulte and Todd hang on. Schuppe end up on top of Taylor here. And they're pretty psyched about blocking Lawrence Taylor, and Taylor isn't too pleased either. Second quarter, Jeff Rutledge picked off by Will Coakley. Bills might get something going. But Brian McClure's first pass after the turnover, it is picked off by the Giants, and they go down to the Bills' 22-yard line. Giants waste opportunities looking at a 4th and 3. They go for it. Rutledge to Jeff Smith. Drops the football. Sloppy football all day long. Only thing close to a score in the first half. Todd Schulte kicking the ball, but no, it is wide from 35 yards. He had made one from 25, but it was negated by a penalty. Marv Levy says, we're no score at the half. Hey, pretty good, we're tied. Third quarter, Giant penalties kill him. Steve Rahaig of New York comes flying into Kevin McKellar after the play is dead. Penalty, Giants. Fourth quarter, George Beniola breaks the scoreless tie. Last scoreless tie in the NFL, 1943. But finally, the Giants get the lead 3-0. But the Bills come back. Todd Schulte with a 31-yard field goal. We are tied at 3. And then in overtime, after both teams had their opportunities from 29 yards, Schulte with the field goal, and the Bills win over the Giants. Marv Levy says a win is a win, and he is right. And
1,000 plus. Take a look at this sign. I think that's Genesis 1 or something. I can't remember exactly where it's from. Dolphins. First possession, drive 72 yards. Marino to Duper over the middle. 7-0 Dolphins. Next possession, 2nd and 9. Marino goes to Pruitt this time, who makes a nice catch, reaching over his shoulder, grabs it for the touchdown, 14-0. The Bills finally moving. 22-yard field goal attempt. Scott Norwood on the kick. It's blocked by the rookie John Boza out of Boston University, and the Bills are turned away once again. Second quarter now, Dan Marino, for the 3rd time in the game, finds tight end Bruce Hardy, 21-0 as he just drills this one in between the defenders, and the Dolphins are up 21-0. It looks like a romp. Marino having a terrific first half, 22 career touchdowns against the Bills. Kelly now huddles with the coach and says, how are we going to get things going? It was 21-3 at the half. 21-10 when Kelly finds Chris Burkett, 14 yards for the touchdown. Burkett, 9 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown, 21-17. The fourth quarter starts. Miami adds a field goal, and then the special teams fall apart. Rookie Scott Schwade's out of Syracuse fields this punt and then gives it up. Fumbles the ball, recovered by Adam Linger of the Bills, and the Bills are in good field position. They move in. Rob Riddick on 3rd and goal through the middle for the touchdown, and we're tied at 24. The kickoff, Schwade fields it again, and once again, he coughs the ball up as it's stripped loose, and the Bills have it. That sets it up. Jim Kelly finds Rob Riddick, and this is picture perfect. You cannot throw a better ball than that. 17 yards on the touchdown. Kelly, 29 of 39 for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they're up by 7. Miami rebounds. Marino goes to Mark Clayton. Watch this catch. Reaches back, turns around, and grabs this one. Marino with a great day. 24 of 36, 303 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's tied again into the overtime, and Scott Norwood with a 22-yard field goal, and the Bills have the victory. 34-31. Forget what happened in the Orange Bowl.
12, set by Joe Ferguson. That's on the line. No more. Touchdown pass right there.
Brett and Barney, the water buffaloes from the Flintstones, I'm not sure. Second quarter, 3rd and 5 for the Bills at the 49. Little razzle-dazzle. Jim Kelly catches the pass from Rob Riddick. And just like a smart quarterback, Tom, he's going to make sure
Gets out of bounds.
before he gets hit. You're right. Sets up the Bills' first score on a 3rd and goal from the 9. Kelly to Andre Reed. Touchdown. 7-0 Buffalo. Rob Riddick, that's not the stat that really tells what he did today. 78 yards on the ground. He blocked the punt right here. And watch this. The Bills have a chance to fall on it for a touchdown on the Horan punt, but it goes out of the end zone. Safety number 1 on a punt situation. Marv Levy says, nice. Let's keep it going. It's 9-0. Jim Kelly does keep it going, keep momentum going. Not great numbers for Kelly, that's for sure. But the Bills in control this game. Second quarter, 1st and 10 on the 20. Kelly over the middle to Chris Burkett. He wants to get in badly, not quite. So, 1st and goal, they give it to Riddick, the workhorse. Touchdown, 16-0 Buffalo. Then you look at the sidelines, Marv says, more of the same. And guess what he did? Last seconds of the first half, they get the same. Steve Tasker blocks the punt. Ball squirts through the end zone. Can it be 2 identical plays? Another safety, 18-0 Bills. John Elway, first half passing, 4 yards. First half rushing for Denver, 3 yards. That's why it was 18-0. But Elway did get the Broncos going late at 21-7. He hits Vance Johnson for a touchdown. He's nailed by Mark Kelso. Kelso lost the battle, but as the great horse Kelso did, and in this situation in Buffalo, Kelso and the Bills won the war by a final score of Cleveland Browns. And it's not a trip that's too long for Bills fans to make, and they went down to root on Mr. Kelly. And you did expect an aerial duel in Cleveland between the Bills and the Browns. Over 78,000 on hand to see Kelly and Kosar, and Bernie got the ball first. It was his turn first. Here he will just give it to Kevin Mack, but Cornelius Bennett says, hey, my second game of the NFL, I can force a fumble. Mark Kelso races like the racehorse, 57 yards. They, of course, this was the first thing that the Zebras looked at for about 5 minutes to try and confirm a fumble. Replay said it was a fumble, 7-0 Bills. Second quarter, Jim Kelly to Pete Metzelaars. He is nailed. Fumbles the football. Ray Ellis picks it up, and he will run down the field for 6 points. They look at the replay. They say, yes, that was a fumble indeed. And now by this point, the Browns are leading 10-7. Then Kosar to Reggie Langhorne, 15-yard touchdown, 17-7 Browns at the half. You want to see a look and pattern work to perfection? Kosar to Webster Slaughter. Zip.
Great throw by Kosar, and the courage that Webster Slaughter shows going into the middle is something that a lot of receivers can learn from.
And the courage that he shows by showing this dance in the end zone is also unbelievable. 52 yards, 24-7 Browns. There are Kosar's numbers, 346 yards on the day. But Kelly and the Bills get a touchdown. And then late in the game, 2.5 minutes ago, Biner fumbles. John Kaiser recovers. They blow the ball dead, and then they rule that's an unsportsmanlike penalty there, and then everything breaks loose.
Yeah, there's no way. I think this all started because of the first call, and there's no way that's unnecessary roughness, because, I mean, this is not tiddlywinks. You're playing football.
This is one of the most humorous things you'll ever see. Gene Bart's still explaining everything, and the Bills are going to run a play here. Gene, stop it. Get out of there. Gene, get back. Whoa. Kelly says no play. Bubba Baker says, ooh, thanks for telling me. Yes, it was kind of crazy at times. And then, of course, very late in the game, it was Kelly to Andre Reed. 3 Browns missed a tackle for the touchdown. Browns tried the onside kick but did not get it. And so Cleveland wins it. Kelly came back, made a statement for the Bills, but it was not enough as Cleveland beats the Buffalo Bills 27-21. The Browns now up to 6-3. The Bills fall to 4-5. You saw the numbers on Kosar with 346 yards. Kelly not quite as well. And I know you're still saying
5-4 coming in. The Bills 4-5. The Bills hadn't beaten the Jets in their last 7. Scoreless first quarter. Jim Kelly from the shotgun looks downfield, overthrows Tremaine Johnson, and Carl Howard has the interception. O'Brien then leads the Jets 79 yards on the drive as he looks for Mickey Schuler. Mickey Schuler picks up the pass and then goes 32 yards. Watch him follow Kurt Zone into the end zone here. Wait, let me pick up the block. Into the end zone for the touchdown, 7-0 Jets. Before the second quarter ends, the Bills capitalize on a 19-yard punt by Jennings. Kelly throws 25 yards to Walter Broughton, all alone in the end zone. Kelly, a touchdown pass now in 15 consecutive games. It was 7-7 at the half. The Bills open the third quarter and extend that lead. Rookie Jamie Mueller up and over for his 2-yard TD, his first in the NFL. The Bills' second rushing TD the entire season, 14-7 Bills. And the Bills' defense was tremendous. Darryl Talley and Bruce Smith combined on their second sack of the day. The Bills had 5 sacks for 33 yards. Jets running back Roger Vick leads outside. Linebacker Shane Conlon comes in and sticks him right there. Nowhere to move. Conlon had 10 tackles today. Third quarter comes to an end. The Bills, Scott Norwood adds a 42-yard field goal, and the Bills are on top 17-7 very comfortably. Ken O'Brien, trying to lead his Chargers back, did not have good numbers, at least as far as the number of completions. This one is tipped by Cornelius Bennett and caught by Sohn, 17-14, but that's as close as they can get. That ends a 7-game losing streak to the Jets for the Buffalo Bills. 17-14 is the final. The Bills come up, so everybody 5-5 at that point. And Bills coach Marv Levy said the plan was simple.
We had good pass rush.
Well, this time the Bills were trying to sweep the Dolphins. And if they were going to do that today, it was the Bruce brothers on defense, Bennett and Bruce Smith.
Well, Bennett certainly played a great game. He was knocking the ball out and knocking it around, and Smith was putting pressure on the quarterback all day, making things happen in the backfield.
The Bills move the ball on offense, too. Jim Kelly has some nice receivers. One of them is Andre Reed. Now watch Kelly find Reed across the middle. This will be good for 32 yards. Ended in a Mueller 5-yard touchdown run. 7-0 Buffalo. Second quarter moving on. The Bills, 2 straight weeks. They said they had no ground game. 2 straight weeks. They ran it up first against the Jets. Now the Dolphins. Ronnie Harmon had 119 yards today. First and goal from the 3. Kelly to Butch Roll. First catch of the year. It's a big one. It's a touchdown. 14-0 Buffalo. They are shuffling. Oh, by the way, Dan Marino played, touch of the flu, rainy conditions. This is the kind of day he had. Pass tipped out of Bennett's hand. Radicic makes the interception. This is the only bright spot for Miami. Reggie Roby sets a Miami team record when this ball kind of goes doink, doink, and it dies on the 3-yard line, 77-yard punt. But so what? End of the first half, Kelly to Andre Reed. 42-yard pickup. Out of bounds to stop the clock. First and 10 on the 22. Jim Kelly looking to the end zone. Chris Burkett is double covered. But watch this throw and catch by Burkett. Beautiful 97-yard drive against Shula and company. 21-0 Buffalo at the half. In the second half, didn't get any better for Dan Marino. Here he is picked off by Mark Kelso. 3 INTs today. Only 165 yards passing for Marino. And Don Shula said, we was whooped, or something like that.
In Los Angeles, perfect football weather. Bo Jackson continues to be perfect as well. Split wide as a receiver. Mark Wilson finds him for the touchdown. 7-0 Raiders early. Still in the first quarter. The Raiders pull some trickery. Yes, that's Marcus Allen tossing the ball, and he hits Bo 24 yards. Chris Barr hits a field goal from 23 yards out. It was 10-0. Bo picked up 78 yards today as Bo Jackson continues to impress the National Football League. Bills pulled it within 3. Jim Kelly pitch out to Ronnie Harmon. He turns it back for a 9-yard touchdown. 10-7. The Raiders still with the lead, but the Bills still very much in it. Then Jim Kelly goes to work through the air. Machine Gun Kelly airs it out. 37 yards in this one to Andre Reed. Down to the 8. 7 straight Kelly passes. Gets them there. No, Reed does not score, by the way, but they do score here. Kelly on the play fake. Rolls and hits tight end Butch Roll. 3 yards on the pass. The Bills on top now. 14-13 at the half. Jim Kelly still doing it for the Buffalo Bills, leading them after the Indianapolis Colts. Third quarter. Remember last Monday night's game when Bo popped Bosworth? Well, today, Mark Kelso is the victim at the end of this run. Watch number 38. Gets knocked on the seat of his pants, and boy, Bo Jackson has the power. Mark Wilson had a great day. That's right, Mark Wilson had a great day. Hits James Lofton here, 41 yards on this one, 132 yards receiving for Lofton. And you see Wilson's stats as he had a tremendous game today. Wasn't intercepted for the second straight week here. Howie Long then on the defensive rush here gets Ronnie Harmon in the backfield, drags him down by his shirt tail, and tosses him to the turf. O.J. Simpson says at this point, this one's in the bag, so I'll get an early start on the freeway as the Buffalo Bills cannot go to 7-5. Out in the Hoosier Dome, over 60,000 indoors to watch the game. Buffalo, good job running the ball. Ronnie Harmon takes the handoff from Kelly, splits his way through, picks up 15 yards. Buffalo, 49 carries for 217 yards on the ground. Kelly says to Harmon, hey, you can run with the ball, you can catch it as well. But Jim Kelly does the job here, threading the needle between the Colt defenders. Harmon makes a great catch, 7-0 Bills. Kelly, 18 straight games with at least one touchdown pass. For Indianapolis, Eric Dickerson couldn't move. Shane Conlon gets through and knocks him for a 5-yard loss. Dickerson only 19 yards rushing. That's a career low. The Colts only 31 yards rushing. The Bills, meanwhile, find themselves with a very strange reception. Kelly throws to Harmon. He loses the handle of the ball. Eugene Daniel looks like he's got a sure interception, but he loses it. Well, here comes Harmon back again with another shot at it. He bobbles the ball. Finally, Ricky Porter comes up with the ball, and it was 13-3 for the Bills at the half. Second half, Jack Trudeau had a rough day. Rolls out, gets rid of the ball, but gets hammered to the carpet by Ron Pitts. Trudeau injured his hip, and with Hogaboom, the starting quarterback, unable to play, the Colts had to call on their third-string quarterback, Sean Salisbury. He had less than an auspicious NFL debut. Looks for an open receiver, but he gets turned into Salisbury State here by Sean McNaney. And Shane Conlon was part of it as well. The Bills had 5 sacks for 49 yards. Bills with another drive in the fourth quarter. Kelly finds Tremaine Johnson for the touchdown. Kelly with good numbers on the day, 18 for 34 and the 2 touchdowns. The Bills are up 20-3. Colts unable to go anywhere. Salisbury drops back from his own 9-yard line. Here comes Bruce Smith unmolested. Comes up with a fumble, and it's a touchdown as well. Salisbury is a beaten man, and the Bills do a little end zone boogie as they get the victory, 27-3. So the Colts and the Bills are tied at 7-6, atop of the AFC East. 27-3 is the final. So
Prosperity being 2 games above 500, 7-6 Buffalo hosting 6-7 New England, and the Bills control their own destiny. They would win the division if they won their last 2 games. In Buffalo today, there was no snow, but there was a rough wind off the lake. 32 miles an hour at Rich Stadium. First possession for the Patriots with the wind. Steve Grogan to Cedric Jones. Touchdown, opening drive, 7-0 Patriots. In the second quarter, the Bills in good shape following an INT, but this is the way it went for Buffalo on offense. Ronnie Harmon fumbling the pitch. Steve Nelson, wanting one last playoff shot in his retirement year, comes up with a loose ball for the Patriots. Steve Grogan's been in clutch situations before, and he was clutch. 4th and 1. This may be one of the shortest completions of his career, but it's long enough to Lynn Dawson for a first down. Raymond Berry coming out of LL Beans for this game. Then on the next play, Buffalo defense with a problem here, Tom.
Because one of the hardest things to do is to teach guys not to go for the football, but lay back for the cutback.
There was nobody for the cutback for Reggie Dupard. 36 yards, second-year man from SMU. 31 carries. He was a workhorse today. Patriots missed the kick, though, 13-0. How bad were the Bills? Watch Ronnie Harmon. Now, Kelly's pass is off the backboard and through the net. The net didn't even ripple for 2 points. Marv Levy can't believe it. It's 13-0 at the half. Patriots defense, they look marvelous today. Jim Kelly doesn't see anything. Hit by Darren Barris. Fumble. Tim Bogler finally falls on the ball. In the first 3 quarters, the Bills' total offense under 80 yards. But then the defense played a role. In the third quarter, Sean McEnany picks up the loose ball. 14-yard touchdown. Bills in the game in the third quarter with the win now, 13-7. On their next possession, the Bills, as their fans urge them on a 4th and 2, Kelly to Ronnie Harmon has more than enough yards for first down. So Harmon dropped the ball. Bills mount a drive early in the fourth quarter, though, and on 4th and 3 from the 4, they go for it, and everybody is covered, and Kelly, with the nervous feet, throws it away over to downtown New England.
Besides the drop balls by Harmon, I think that's one thing that we saw today. Here you see it again. You see a little bit of that nervous feet, that nervous tension from Kelly. I think that's something that pressure is making him do.
That was the interception by Fred Marion very late, and less than a minute to go, the Bills' last gasp, although they are deep in their own territory. And look at the numbers for Kelly. He's going to scramble, and on 4th down, nobody's open. Great coverage all day by New England. Darren Barris, number 60, will wrap him up. Then Brent Williams puts him down. And afterwards, look at Brent Williams. You think he ever watched Sanford and Son? Where's Fred Sanford? Where is he? There he is. Kelly sacked 6 times today by the New England defense, who limited Buffalo to 148 yards in total offense. And the Patriots win it a final of 13-7. First time as a pro, 64 games as a pro, Kelly has completed less than 50% of his passes. He wasn't even close, and his 18 straight games of throwing at least 1 touchdown go out the window. And we take a look at today, what happened at Vet Stadium in Philadelphia as the Bills and the Eagles tried to set things straight for next year, set the tone. Quarterback Jim Kelly, a rough day last week against New England.
and had a rough day today. Passed for way under 200 yards. Rookie Byron Evans with the pickoff right there. And he got lost at which way he was going for a while. Eventually, they righted him, and he went 11 yards on the return. Now, they could not get the touchdown, and Paul McFadden, remember, he had his wars with Buddy Ryan this year. Well, he set a new Eagle record for field goals with 91, breaking the old mark by Sam Baker, set in the 60s. Eagles lead at 3-0 in the second quarter. Still in the second, with the ball in the 18-yard line. Look at Randall Cunningham just kind of nonchalantly fire it to Anthony Toney. Takes it in from 18 yards, and Cunningham is pleased. So is Buddy Ryan with the Al Capone jacket. And Anthony Toney had a big day as well. Cunningham makes things look so very, very easy. You know who else makes things look easy for the Philadelphia Eagles? There you see Cunningham's stats. And Buddy Ryan's been applauding all year the play of defensive end Reggie White. Now remember, because of the strike, White only played 12 games. Had 2 sacks today, 21 on the year. The record was 22 by Gastineau. And so the Eagles go on to win today 17-7 over the Buffalo Bills in a defensive struggle. And oh, by the way, Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham ran today. Let's go back to another early game that really was a bone cruncher. Minnesota, a team that, of course, knocked at the door last year, almost got in the Super Bowl, and the Buffalo Bills, who showed signs of moving upward. Well, I'll tell you what, at Rich Stadium, it's been a while since fans had this much to cheer about. Early in the year, Orchard Park, New York. But 80,000 were on hand. Rich Stadium, and they wanted to see if the Bills defense could beat Wade Wilson, who got the nod over Tommy Kramer for a starting quarterback of the Vikings. Early on, they like what they saw. Art Still tips it. Cornelius Bennett picks the ball off a Vikings back. First turnover of the year registered by Cornelius Bennett led to a Norwood field goal, 3-0 Bills early. Bruce Smith was out, 30-day drunk suspension. Leon Seals was in at defensive end. Leon Seals, number 96, closed the gap nicely there.
Well, you get the linebacker play that you get from Conlon and Bennett. It's going to improve the defensive line.
And Jim Kelly says it's nice to have a good defense, and it's nice to have Pete Metzelaars. Metzelaars had a good day and a 24-yard game. Thurman Thomas, rookie, making his presence felt. Cuts up the right side. He was the top draft pick for the Bills, although it was in the second round. That's a 19-yard pickup. And later on in the first quarter, nice block by Jamie Mueller, and Thomas does the rest.
The great thing about Thomas is the way he follows his blockers. He stays right on their hip, makes that cut at the last minute.
86 yards in his debut. 10-0 second quarter. Kelly looking for more, but it's tipped by Jesse Solomon. Reggie Rutland picks it off. Many times the Bills were in close. They didn't score as much as they should have, although they led it 10-3 at the half. Jerry Burns wondering, where's the offense? Well, here's the answer, the Buffalo defense. Art Still, you think he can still play? Marv Levy thought he could. Art had 3 sacks today, combining with another veteran, Freddie Smerlas. And then Cornelius Bennett. There's still 72. Bennett, 55. Everybody is in. Buffalo defense today, 6 quarterback sacks to Minnesota's 1, but only 10-3. Big play, fourth quarter, 10-3. Bucky Scribner first tries to dribble it, then tries to kick it. Doesn't do either. It resulted in a Scott Norwood field goal to make it 13-3. So, down by 10 points, Wade Wilson, who went the route, throwing for 204 yards. Stats look okay, but he was harried all day. Finally ends a long drive, giving to Allen Rice a tough 3-yard run. It's 13-10. But insurance time for the rookie, Thurman Thomas. Marv Levy was word about a running game. He may have it. Thomas, 29-yard run into Viking territory with the first down. Seals the win for the Bills. Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills swinging the towels on the day. Kelly will have better numbers in his career, that is for sure, but he will take a Buffalo win over a team that could go to the Super Bowl. The Bills winning it by a count of 13-10. And without Bruce Smith, the rest of the team picked up the slack, that is for sure, Tommy, with the 6 sacks. This is a team. This game reminds me of when Cleveland went into New Orleans last year and the Saints in Week 1 surprised the Browns. Buffalo is for real. And when they have 80,000 in that stadium week after week after week, I think they're going to be a real menace.
Well, Chris, a great game for the Bills to win, and you can't argue they beat a really good team in the Minnesota Vikings. I think the one thing that will concern them, though, is getting down inside that 20-yard line and not putting the ball in the end zone consistently. That could become a problem as the season goes on, but when you have Thomas and the great defense that they have, I think they'll work things out.
They will work things out. It's nice to know that the defense will keep the score in check while the offense figures it out. Now, for Minnesota, what happened to number 81, the star of the playoffs?
Well, 3 catches for 30 yards. He ran one end around. I think they have to figure out more ways to get Anthony Carter the football and get him the ball out in the open. And I don't know exactly how you do that. That's how come I'm not the coach.
Smart. You sit here with us. You'll learn an awful lot.
Canada Goose, that's right. We have the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. Now, despite the fact that the Bills have a great defense, you knew this game had offense written all over it. After all, you had Dan Marino going against Jim Kelly. Two guys who are capable of passing for 400 yards on their own, but you wouldn't expect that would be their totals between the two of them on the day. Rich Stadium in Buffalo, and there's the matchup. Dan Marino against Jim Kelly. On the Bills' first possession, Kelly back to pass and tosses this one a long way, but William Judson steps in front of the pass and picks it off, and the Dolphins take over. Dan Marino was shut out for the first time last year against Buffalo. Marino going to Clayton this time. Watch the penalty flag drop. Derek Burrows says, watch it here, says, I did not do a thing. Miami would have to settle for the field goal, and they lead it 3-0. It's the referee's rule. That's right, you didn't do anything, no penalty. The Bills' next possession in the second quarter. Miami's defense gave up 427 yards against Chicago last week. They were stuffing and stopping the Bills all over the field. Miami does get the ball back. But Dan Marino, who had his difficulties against the Chicago Bears last week, would have his difficulties once again. Watch number 72, Art Still. Strip him of the ball, and the Bills get it back. So Jim Kelly would go to work. But Jim Kelly would be in the shutout department as well. He gets robbed on this one touchdown, possibly. You make the judge. Rob Riddick is the one who makes the catch, but he's ruled out of bounds as he hauls this one in from Kelly, and there's no touchdown on the play. Watch the replay. The referee ruling that he juggles the ball as he goes out of bounds, and Buffalo would have to settle for a field goal. Looks there like possibly he tucks it in, but the refs rule no possession, 3-3 at the half. Score tied 6-6 in the fourth quarter. Kelly hits Andre Reed just with a little short one here, and then Reed goes to work. He had a big day as he takes it down to about the 35-yard line. A good day for Reed. And Scott Norwood, 28-yard field goal, his third of the day, and Buffalo wins it 9-6. The Bills, first time they've started 2-0 since '82. The Dolphins, first time they've been 0-2 since.
Go to the AFC East, where the Buffalo Bills, after 2 home wins with some rough, crunching defense, came into New England, a place where they had not won since 1981. But you know what? 1981 was also the last time the Bills had a good team. And here they were at Foxborough. The Patriots wanted to draw even with the Bills atop the standings. Mr. Grogan, meet Ray Bentley, number 50. And Mr. Steve Grogan, meet Cornelius Bennett, number 55. This is how the Bills have been winning. Steve looking for some help above and trailing 3-0. Look, Steve can stand in there with the best of them. He gets good protection, and he fires one 44 yards to Cedric Jones, who beats Derek Burrows on the play, 7-3 Patriots. Second quarter, Kelly intercepted twice today by number 31, Freddie Marion, one in the end zone, one right here. And this would help the Patriots move. The ball was down. Don't worry about it. With a couple minutes left in the quarter on 3rd and 8, Grogan will hit his veteran receiver, favorite target, number 86, Stanley Morgan, beats the other corner, Nate Odoms, for the touchdown, 14-3 New England at the half. Norwood has kicked the field goal to make it 14-6. Jim Kelly finally gets going, throws to Chris Burkett, knocked out at the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal. Can it be? 3 games in, this is the first TD pass of the year for Kelly. It's true. Rob Riddick touchdown, 14-13 Pats. Little over 2 minutes to go. Bills have no timeouts to go. It's 3rd and 6, and number 44, John Stevens, apparently has clinched the game with this long gainer for the Patriots. But a flag is down, holding on the play. So they cannot do it. They punt. Bills take over. Kelly, 2-minute drill. Ronnie Harmon playing a key role in this 2-minute drill. He makes the reception inside the 40-yard line. 25 seconds to go with no timeouts. Remember, Kelly said, just get out. I got things underhand. And let's say we're not in the end zone, but we're going to do a new play. It's called, we are going to spike the ball to stop the clock. And that gets Scott Norwegian Wood in the game, kind of Scott Norwood. Scotty was 3 for 3 on field goals today. None bigger than the 41-yarder with seconds to go. That gives the Bills the 16-14 win over the New England Patriots, and a 2-game lead over the Patriots and over everybody but the Jets in the division, 16-14. And so at 3-0, the Bills defense in 3 games has allowed 30 points. Yeah, I know the offense has only scored 38 points, so it isn't pretty. But when you allow 10 points a game, you're also 3-0 for the first time in 1980. Why is that significant in Buffalo Bill history? That's the last time they won the division, in 1980. They won the AFC East under Chuck Knox. They're thinking the same thing this season. Buffalo defense improvement, well, with Bennett there, you know what the numbers are going to look like. There it is. And when we return, we'll check out another offensive game that didn't quite make it. Stay with me. The Bengals.
The Buffalo Bills were one of 3 undefeated teams at 4-0. The Bears not far behind at 3-1. Combined record of 7-1, and crunching defenses made this perhaps one of the premier games of the day. And we focus on Soldier Field, ancient Soldier Field in Chicago. The combatants, Mike Ditka against Marv Levy and the Bills. Jim McMahon against the younger Jim Kelly. Mike Singletary against Cornelius Bennett. Bennett got some help on defense from Bruce Smith, who came back in the game but injured himself for a while in this 4th down play, but Smith looked good when he was in there. But Bears defense, yeah, plenty of it. Watch Dave Duerson and Dan Hampton sack Jim Kelly. Then it was number 95, Richard Dent's turn to sack. 6 sacks today for the Chicago defense. Now, they get Kelly here because Hampton and Dent work a nice in and out.
Hampton and Dent run a nice little excellent. They block it pretty well, but they overpower their offensive line.
Now, when Kelly did get time, sometimes his receivers, normally reliable, Thurman Thomas, would drop the ball. Kelly's stats look good on paper. More about that later because they were nowhere near as good. First quarter, let's get to the game. No score. Kelly Jim McMahon looking like the old McMahon. He doesn't care. Reckless. Takes on 2 tacklers, scrambles for a 1st down. And the next play, watch him fake to Suey in the line and look for tight end Emery Moorhead. Wide open, touchdown, 4 yards. Bears lead at 7-0. McMahon today, 260 yards, first 200-plus game this year. With the Bears leading 7-3 in the 2nd quarter. McMahon, a short one over the middle to Ron Morris, but he turns it into a big game. He has 2 lengths on Kelso, 3 lengths on Kelso. Touchdown, 63 yards. It's 14-3 Bears. 17-3 Bears, 2nd quarter. McMahon watched the reverse play with Gentry, and McMahon with the block on Cornelius Bennett. And, well, that's Jimmy Mack, isn't it?
Well, that's the extra that he gives you. He's a lineman in quarterback's clothing.
There you go. 58 yards on the double reverse, 24-3. Ditka, why, he's really upset because why? Because they didn't stop the Bills to no yards overall. While they held them to no yards rushing, I'd say that's pretty good. Bills lost more than the game when Shane Conlon injured his right leg, but x-rays negative, only bruised. That's better news. McMahon saying goodbye to the Bills' undefeated season as the Bears impressive today. We move on to the Buffalo Bills, who last week lost for the first time. They're going up against the Indianapolis Colts, who won the AFC East a year ago, but at 1-4 were really struggling. Buffalo, though, for a while, looked to be suffering from a Bear hangover, as many teams have done in the past. At Rich Stadium, 4th straight sellout. But they watched the Colts look strong in the first half behind young Chris Chandler, the quarterback. Watch him get aided by a beautiful catch by Albert Bentley, who saw more playing time today for the Colts. Colts passing on almost every down, fouling everybody up. And the Bills weren't ready for it because Chandler goes deep to Clarence Verdun. Pass interference penalty sets up a Biasucci field goal. 3-0 Colts. Next possession for Indianapolis. Eric Dickerson, it's not 5 of his easiest yards, but he was running tough. Would set up a quarterback sneak by Chandler. Dickerson only 66 on the day as the Colts passed more, but the Colts led at 10-0. But then here's where Chris Chandler got hurt. Chris Chandler meet Art Still, number 72. Chandler had to leave the game. Entered Gary Hogeboom. But he looked like he was ready when he found Clarence Verdun 39 yards. Colts 17-0. Could this be? Well, it could because Jim Kelly and the offense of the Bills having problems. This pass, tip, veteran Barry Krause picks it off. But the Bills fans believe this year. They say, you know, with our defense, Jim, you don't need a lot. You just need enough. And that's what they got because late in the 2nd quarter, after the 2-minute warning, this is the big score. Kelly to Ronnie Harmon. 26 yards, and now instead of 17-0, it's 17-7 at the half. Bills came out a different squad in the 3rd quarter. Kelly to Andre Reed. Touchdown, 16 yards, 17-14. A little while later, Kelly to 83, Andre Reed. Andre will take it into the end zone, 12 yards, 21-20 Bills. After a Biasucci field goal put them ahead, Buffalo came back, and then Hogeboom is tackled. This is ruled a lateral, although Cornelius Bennett thought it was a fumble and carried it into the end zone. This set up a field goal by Norwood. And then Jim Kelly, as they're running out the clock, look at this. Big Jim on the move. Jim makes the move, and he's saved. And this would lead, well, that's his passing stats there, 315 yards. This would lead to Rob Riddick's blast for a touchdown, the touchdown man of the Bills. The Bills led it by 11. And Indianapolis hopes of getting the oh-by-the-way touchdown. The Bills defense said, hey, we worked hard enough. Bruce Smith said, see you later. 4 sacks on the day for the Bills. And Buffalo went on to defeat the Indianapolis Colts 34-17.
to 23. Now, we showed you Kelly's stats, 21 of 39 for 315 yards. So, Tommy, on paper, Jim Kelly had a good day. I'm sure Jim would be the first to admit that still he has not had a good day. And it seems at times that the Bills are winning, but they're asking the defense to do too much. Offense put them in a hole.
3 touchdown passes, a good day for Kelly, but those numbers aren't indicative of the fact that they lack a little bit of that killer instinct. And to beat really good teams, you have to do that down the road. The kind of mistakes they had today will hurt them.
It will hurt them, but if it reminds you of your Bronco team, one thing that, that they do have, I think more than your Bronco team that made that Super Bowl in '77 against Dallas, was they do have potential on offense. The Bills woke up after half and are now 5-1 for the Colts. They played again, a close game.
In Week 7 at the Meadowlands, the Bills' first Monday night appearance in 4 years, Norwood responded by hitting 3 field goals against the Jets. But it was far more than the Bills would need as they put on a clinic for the nation to see. Defensively, Bruce Smith recorded 2.5 of Buffalo's 5 sacks, while offensively, the Bills seemingly could do no wrong.
35 in the shotgun, an all-out blitz, and Kelly throws, and it is deflected and caught by the Bills. And going into the 30, to the 20, is Flip Johnson, to the 5, and he's in for the touchdown.
While Flip Johnson made the most of his first NFL reception, receiver Andre Reed made the most of his initial primetime exposure, catching 7 passes for 2 scores.
A lot of the guys haven't been on Monday night, including me. You know, I think that was really a big test for us to go out on Monday night and prove.
Well, much as the Bengals were 6-1 going in, so were the Buffalo Bills, but there was a big difference. The Bills are coming off a major win on Monday night. Would they be, quote, hungover? Well, earlier this year, they beat New England 16-14 in Foxborough. Would this game back at Rich Stadium be another close one? They're selling out these days in Rich Stadium, and with very good reason. But Andre Tippett says, I'm back in the lineup, and he tips the ball away from Jim Kelly. Garrett Barris recovers. New England trying to put some points on the board early. Enter Teddy Garcia. The Patriots might have been better with Jerry Garcia. He's singing the Mexicali Blues. It's a 25-yarder that he misses badly. First quarter, more turnovers. Kelly's pass to Rodney Hartman, stripped by Jim Bowman. Fumble. Fred Marion jumps on it. And the Patriots look to take advantage here. And Doug Flutie didn't have great numbers on the day, but makes a difficult throw, Tom.
Well, I thought it was his best throw of the day under a lot of pressure.
To Irving Fryer, touchdown, 7-0 Pats. There are Doug's stats, but no interceptions, at least. Boy, a lot of teams wish they could have drafted Thurman Thomas in the first round. Don't you think? This 19-yard run helped set up the Bills' first touchdown, which tied the game at 7. Thurman has been the workhorse, second-round pick from Oklahoma State. What bum knee? 20 for 84 yards. More Bills turnovers, though, in the second quarter. Errol Tucker camps under this punt by Jeff Beagles and simply takes his eye off the ball. New England recovers it. And this will set up number 44, John Stevens, a young man who we've heard so much about. Look at him run with authority. It's a pretty-looking 11-yard touchdown, folks. Garcia, of course, missed the extra point. It's only 13-10. Stevens, 134 yards on the day. With the Patriots leading 13-10 in the second quarter, reverse time. Marv opening up the book week after week. A little more. Andre Reed will go 36 yards, and Lepet barely trips him up, or he might have gone all the way. It sets up a Norwood field goal, ties it at 13. Third quarter, Teddy Garcia, 39-yarder. Blocked, it hit someone in the armpit. Howard Ballard. Third quarter, game still tied at 13. Kelly to Trumaine Johnson. Johnson makes a pretty move. You know he can fly. This will be a 15-yard hookup. Johnson caught 6 on the day, playing for the injured Chris Burkett. The Bills have grabbed a 20-13 lead in the fourth quarter, but Robert Perryman ties it for the Pats with a 1-yard burst. And we stay that way till 13 seconds to go. And a guy who has been automatic. Patriots can't kick. Scott Norwood certainly can. 33-yard field goal. The Bills on a Norwood field goal lead at 23-20. Last gasp for Flutie. Bruce Smith will throw Flutie 80 yards instead of Doug throwing the ball 80 yards. Watch Bruce. Yes, 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 and we didn't see it, but he was happy. And a little Rich Stadium history, which isn't that rich in it. There has never been a January game at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. And the way the Bills are playing as they hosted the Packers today, maybe they could clinch at least one playoff game to be held there, maybe 2 if they keep playing this way. Yeah, it was Halloween, wasn't it? Bills fans usually come disguised as empty seats, but not this year. 6 straight sellouts.
Here to see Shane Conlon with some nice defense there on Don Majkowski. And here to see Bruce Smith get to Majkowski for an almost safety. Here to see 6 sacks, 2.5 by Cornelius Bennett. Here to see Bruce Smith do some dancing. Here to see the Bills win big. Thurman Thomas, second-round draft pick, just grinds him out. He isn't spectacular, but he more than gets the job done on the ground. 116 yards today for Thurman on 23 carries. This sets up a Kelly touchdown pass. There you see his stats. The Packers having trouble against the Bills today. And this is Majkowski going deep at the free safety mark. Kelso picks it off at the 22-yard line. Kelso is to the 40-yard line. Kelso is to the 50-yard line. He's at the 8 pole by 4 lanes. Kelso by 5 lanes. Kelso by 6 lanes. Kelso in front. Touchdown, 78 yards. Mark Kelso. Late in the game, more defense. Fumble, and Leon Seals looks strong, doesn't he?
It shows an amazing amount of dexterity. Finally getting this ball. You don't want defensive linemen to handle it too much, although he does leave it laying on the ground once he gets into the end zone.
They give him a touchdown. Leon Easter Seals with the touchdown. The Bills 2 offense, 2 defensive touchdowns today. Allow the Packers only 131 yards. They're 8-1, the only team there. 28-0 Bills over the Pack, who wanted that shutout very badly, did the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills in Seattle, rookie quarterback Kelly Stouffer. The Bills with the rush, and Stouffer gets nailed by Bruce Smith before he could release the ball. Chuck Knox is contemplating the injury hedge, like his quarterback, Mr. Dave Craig, who's been missing for some time. Big play for Buffalo. Thurman Thomas gets the handoff, goes left, but watch his leg. It collapses underneath him, and Marv Levy has to be concerned. Thurman Thomas very concerned. Second quarter, Stouffer again under pressure. Smith again, and then gets up and does his Fred Sanford routine, while Brian Bosworth can only look on. Elizabeth, I'm coming to see you. Those antics by Smith can come back to haunt you, though. Watch the left of the screen. Smith is chop blocked and taken down, and the message may have been delivered at that point. You don't want to put it in someone's face and taunt them. Jim Kelly, meanwhile, leading the Bills defense in a 3-3 score, offense rather. Hands off to Riddick, and Riddick tosses the pass to Flip Johnson for 26 yards. Soon after, the Bills offensive line gives Kelly the protection he would need. He hits Riddick, who takes it towards the end zone, gets it down to about the 1.5-yard line. Soon after, Riddick's specialty, the high dive over the top, makes like Greg Louganis and takes it in for his 8th touchdown of the year. The point after is good, and it's 10-3 for the Bills. The big play, 4th and inches. Kelly Stouffer tries for the quarterback sneak, but he is turned aside. Chuck Knox can only look on as his offense cannot get anything going. The Bills didn't do anything, so they punt away. But watch what happens. The Seahawks, Nesby Glasgow, and the ball bounces around, picked off by Ray Bentley, leads to Scott Norwood with a field goal that would clinch it. 13-3 is the final. The Buffalo Bills remain with just 1 loss on the season. The Bills are 9-1 after beating Seattle 13-3. Seattle drops to 5-5.
The passing attack that became more potent as the season wore on. In Week 11 at Miami, the Bills' second Monday night game of the season, Jim Kelly showed why he is one of the league's most accurate passers, as he fired bullets from behind an impenetrable wall of blockers.
Kelly back to throw. Looking, he throws, and it is caught, and it is in for the touchdown. It is Ronnie Harmon for the score.
Ronnie Harmon caught 1 touchdown and also helped the Bills rack up 205 yards rushing, while the Miami offense was held to just 33 yards on the ground. The 10-1 Bills moved 1 step closer to the AFC East title with their 6th straight victory, their most convincing win of the year. The entire country had watched Buffalo push Miami around on both sides of the ball. The issue in Buffalo. Could the Bills win the AFC East? The earliest clinching of an AFC division since they went to the 16-game season. Into town with the Jets. And Leonard Smith throws Wesley Walker out of bounds. A scuffle ensues. Referee Dick Hantak had his hand full, especially in the first half, and throws Smith out of the game. What do you think, Tom?
Certainly a bad hit, but no need for him to be ejected from the football game. I've seen much worse in a lot of games where guys stay in.
I think Marv agrees with you on that. At any rate, the Bills early on had many penalties, and one penalty really hurt him because at the end of the half, in a 3-0 deficit, a 41-yard field goal, they took too much time, and from 47, doink, that's Scott Norwood's range. You know it now. 47-yarder off a crossbar, Jets lead 3-0 at the half. 6-3 Bills in the fourth. Pat Ryan got the start today. Here is Al Toon, who learned who Shane Conlon is. Big time. Ryan, not great stats, that's for sure, in the rain at Buffalo. But Ryan did hook up a couple times with Wesley Walker, including this pass late in the fourth quarter for 21 yards that helped set up a Pat Leahy field goal that would tie the game at 6. Late in the fourth, the Bills on the move at the Jets' 25-yard line, and the rookie's been steady as heck. Thurman Thomas fumbles the ball. Scott Mercereau picks it up for the Jets, stalls the drive with under 4 minutes to go. With 25 seconds to go, the Jets looking for the go-ahead field goal to make it 9-6. Freddie Spurless, number 76, blocks it, and Ryan makes a saving tackle on what could have been a touchdown, and so we go to overtime in Buffalo in the rain. The coin toss, Jets win it, elect to receive. But on the second play of overtime, Roger Vick, Derek Burrows with the hit. Cornelius Bennett, number 55, picks up the loose football. And then 4 plays later, 3:47 into overtime, Norwood from 30. Not pretty, but it's good. Norwood gets the Bills, a 9-6 win in overtime. And are they happy in Buffalo? There go the goalposts. 12 games in, and the Buffalo Bills are champions of the AFC East. They've won 7 in a row, and they win today in overtime by a count of 9-6 on a day where the Buffalo Bills simply said, our defense is going to make the big play eventually. Although for one time, the New England category, the Bengals, against the team with the best defense in the AFC in just about every category, the Buffalo Bills. Bills had already clinched their division. The Bengals only a half a game ahead in the AFC Central over Houston. They needed the game. They had the sense of urgency. And boy, did they come out looking like it was urgent. This was after a night at La Boom across the river. Marv Levy, Sam Weiss, they were ready to play. The Bengals, how fired up were they? They hit anybody, even if it was their teammates. David Folger, Darryl Smith, boom, there they go. Bengals have a rookie running back. What's his name again, Tom?
Icky Woods.
Yeah, that's the guy. Icky Woods picked up 17 yards on this carry. Same opening series. What's his name again?
Icky Woods.
Icky Woods on the same opening series around Fred Smirla's 14 yards. Number 30, Icky Woods, 13 yards, and they rolled right down the field. And no wonder, because he had some guys ahead of him.
Well, you see his offensive line here moving the Buffalo Bills off the ball the way they haven't been moved off all season. Icky Woods getting to the safety, Kelso.
But the Bills on 4th down stopped them on a 4th and goal gamble. The Bills defense took over. But what about the Bengals defense, Tommy?
The Bengals defense with Reggie Williams, number 57, coming up the middle, put pressure on Kelly all day.
And after that sort of pressure by the defense, the offense got going. This is the other back, James Brooks. He goes around the left side.
You have to love the fact that this guy does not run out of bounds.
And you also have to love the fact, if you're a Bengal fan, that he occasionally runs into the end zone. Touchdown, 3 yards. Bengals lead at 7-0 after the second drive. Later in the first quarter, Boomer Esiason was led every week in the AFC passing ratings, will continue to lead with passes like this to Eddie Brown of 29 yards. And then when Munoz goes against Bruce Smith, Boomer has time.
Gets a little bit of help here from Holman. The key, given in time all day.
They did a nice job on Bruce Smith, did the Bengals. Boomer early in the second quarter will roll out, hit James Brooks. Brooks will do the rest, and he has a special tribute to his quarterback. Hey, number 7, Boomer, this one's for you. Bengals lead 14-0. Bills then go back to their main man, their rookie back, Thurman Thomas. Stiff arming, 14 yards, 71 tough yards today. He looked healthy again. But it was really Icky Woods who was the rookie running back in the spotlight today. Here, Icky with a 1-yard plunge, the 21-7 lead. And, of course, you were with us a couple weeks ago, you know they have the record, the Icky Shake. Bengals lead 21-7 at the half. Marv Levy said, wait a minute, this hasn't been happening to us this year. But it was more early in the second half. Boomer Esiason, this time to Tim McGee, playing on a gimpy ankle, caught a couple of passes, this one for 19 yards. Boomer, a typical day, he should be, in my opinion, AFC MVP, but more on that later. And those passes helped set up Ickey Woods with a touchdown. Ickey had 139 yards on the day, 3 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns in all for the rookie. The rookie record 22 by Sayers, 28-7 Bengals. But were the Bills dead? No siree. Kelly to Ronnie Harmon, 9-yard touchdown. Harmon caught 8, 28-14. Then all of a sudden, while the Bengals might have felt that this one was in their pocket, Jim Kelly to Andre Reed. They don't rule it a touchdown down to the 1-foot line, but it sets up a Riddick blast. It's 28-21, and all of a sudden the Bills are right in it. The Bills defense gets the ball back with plenty of time for Kelly, but this was the turnover. Rob Riddick fumbles the football. Lewis Phillips recovers for the Bengals, and then they got another touchdown insurance, and then the Bengals defense stiffened. Jason Buck sacks Kelly. When it was all said and done, the Bengals had rolled up 455 yards against the Buffalo defense and allowed only 270 a game going in, and the Bengals whopped the Bills 35-21. And after the game, Cincinnati coach Sam Weiss, was he all smiles?
I hope that they have the feeling that they were outplayed today, because I think we had to whip 2 teams. We had to beat the officials again, and we had to beat the Buffalo Bills. But we beat them both. I hope something's done about the former, because it's getting a little scary.
You know, you take them all in perspective, whether you win them or lose them. Right now, it's very important that we win the rest of the games to get the home field advantage, hopefully in the playoffs. We proved that we can beat the best team in the AFC.
Nice comment by Boomer, who was just playing hang-on football. And you figured they would get back on track against the lowly Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Soak in a little sun, get ready. Well, Ray Perkins was soaking in a little sun, and he had some special plays ready for the Buffalo defense as the Bucs really controlled the ball, especially in the first half. Reverse to Don Smith, 15 yards, sets up a John Connie field goal, 3-0 Tampa Bay. Second quarter, Vinny tested it. This is Vinny, folks. 23 yards to Jeff Parks. Later on the drive, this is Vinny, folks, looking for Mark Carrier. This is a guy that's thrown for over 450 yards this year, and you look at these numbers and say, Chris, what are you looking at? But Vinny Testaverde had the best game of the season. No INTs, no fumbles. He hadn't done that before this game. 2 plays later, Vinny's going to run it, Tom.
Haven't we been calling all year for Vinny to get more time on the field?
Yeah, we certainly have. Touchdown, Bucs 10-0. Meanwhile, Bills in all sorts of trouble. Ronnie Harmon can't handle a pass from Jim Kelly. Kelly at other times struggling. Nice catch by Cornelius Bennett, but problem, he wasn't on the field. End of the first half, this is how you could tell it was not the day for the Bills. A Hail Mary is going to be answered as Andre Reed is in position to make a touchdown, but he drops the chippy. Then a play in the third quarter that we thought would turn the ball game. 10-0. Kelly throwing toward the end zone. Ricky Reynolds picks it off at the 2, goes into the end zone. The refs say he was really on the 1-yard line, but you're supposed to, Tommy, what do you think?
Momentum took him into the end zone. That ball should have been spotted on the 20-yard line.
And sure enough, Bruce Smith, safety, 10-2. Bills get the ball back on the punt. This would normally turn it around with the Bills, but on 4th and goal, Rob Riddick, forget it. The Bucs defense holds at the goal line. And later on, in the fourth quarter, with the Bills driving, Kelly finds Chris Burkett. Boom! Bobby Fattrell with a nice hit. But then Tampa Bay comes up big, and I want you to watch Mark Robinson and watch what Kelly does here as the ball is intercepted. Frustration, and Jim, he's out. There's a hit late. Kelly's numbers much better than Vinny. But on the day, it was Vinny that played error-proof ball, and it was the Buccaneers that shocked the Buffalo Bills 10-5. Up the country a little bit to Atlanta. Then they went on the road to Cincinnati and were banged by the Bengals. They went to Tampa and suffered a big defeat. This obviously was a team in need of a home game. They got one today against the LA Raiders, and they got very cold temperatures and a new 8-game home attendance record in the NFL, 6-2-2, etc. They're the Raiders. It's freezing. It's cold. All the fans came anyway. They set records. And Leonard Smith nailed Marcus Allen. The hitting was fierce in this game. Russell Carter nails Jim Kelly. And Tim Brown's halo to Sherman Cockcroft right there. So on a bad weather day, you got to run the ball, right? Well, Marcus Allen had a rough time running the football. And it's partly because it took a couple guys to handle Bruce Smith, Tom.
Also, Bruce Smith doesn't make the tackle here, but he does get double-teamed, freeing up one of his teammates to do the same.
For a while on their side of the ball, the Bills went to the air. And Andre Reed hurt. They used Trumaine Johnson today, 15-yarder from Kelly to Trumaine Johnson. Then later in the drive, Kelly to Flip Johnson. And Flip will flip it down to the 5-yard line. And then when you get to the 1, you know who's going to carry the ball, right? Rob Riddick. Stopping him almost seems ridiculous.
A 1-yard run, and the Bills lead at 7-0. Later in the first quarter, Jay Schrader looked good today as quarterback for the Raiders. He played in the CFL, so it figures Mervin Fernandez would find Buffalo warm today. That's a 25-yard gain. And then Steve Smith, I don't know, I see that number. Isn't that Hewitt Dixon? Anyway, Steve Smith scores. It's 7-7. On the ensuing kickoff, you want to watch Shepard, watch Ronnie Harmon go up the left sideline and simply bull his way and bull his way and bull his way forward for more yards. The Bills enjoy playing at home. That's set up in the second quarter with the game tied 7-7. Thurman Thomas busted into the end zone. Touchdown, 37-yard run, 14-7 Bills. And that was a large hole to run through.
Well, this offensive line has been together for a while. Here you see Jim Richard and Will Wolford blow a hole open and push Mike Wise well off the line of scrimmage. Open up a nice hole, and then you see what Thurman does on his own.
Yes, Thurman Thomas does the rest on his own. Jay Schrader trying to make a quarterback sneak, but Freddie Sperlis recovers the fumble. Sets up a field goal by Scott Norwood, who had 3 on the days, within 3 of the record by Haji Sheik in one season of 35. John Kidd punting for Buffalo. Tim Brown and Notre Dame. It was cold, but he plays it like a hand grenade. Cocroft falls on it, and that sets up a 1-yard run by Riddick. It's 27-7 Bills. Brown trying to redeem himself as a receiver. Jay Schrader throws it deep, and watch the adjustment Tim makes to the ball. Beats both defenders for a touchdown. 27-14 on the 43-yard TD. But Jim Kelly will play action to Carl Byram, and he hits the backup tight end Butch, shake, rattle, and roll, who does exactly that in the end zone. Bills lead at 34-14. Well, let's not forget Thurman Thomas. Watch the balance that he shows on this play and the ability to cut back. And how durable is Thurman Thomas? Tommy, I can't understand, you know, how everybody could pass him up in the first round.
There's a lot of people wondering why they didn't take him in the first round.
He has knee problems. What was the problem here? Buffalo got him in the second round. Look at this run. This is simply marvelous. Thurman Thomas, 106-yard day in many ways. One of the MVPs of the Bills this season, certainly on offense in our opinion. Ho, ho, ho. What do you want for Christmas? A trip to the Super Bowl, because by winning 37-21, the Bills, if they win next week, will be home as long as they stay in the playoffs till the Super Bowl. After the game, Thurman Thomas talked about redemption.
We were really embarrassed last week, and I think a lot of the players on the offensive side of the ball took up on the challenge to go out and try to establish a running game. I think they worked real hard from the first play to the last play, and they gave it their all from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and it just paid off for us.
We didn't turn the ball over, so we weren't behind trying to play catch-up so that we had to abandon our running game. That's the whole story. That's the story. You can analyze forever. You win the turnover battle, you're going to win 93% of your football games.
And you know Marv has figured that out. Our Bills have returned this week. Playoffs, they were playing for home field advantage all the way through. If they could win today against the Indianapolis Colts, who went into the day still having a wild card shot. The Colts had won 5 in a row in their dome, the Hoosier Dome. Marv Levy's Bills have kind of gone backwards since they won the division, losing 2 of their last 3. He wanted to get things off well, but Ronnie Harmon's opening kickoff. Mvemjsunpx, he's downfield on the kick, makes the fumble recovery, and turns it into a 52-yard field goal, giving him 6 over 50 this year. That's a new NFL record, breaking the old mark by Fred Steinfort of the Broncos, Norm Johnson of the Seahawks, 3-0 Colts. Out of town, good news. The Colts fans needed the Browns to lose. But in the meantime, Tommy, the Bills had other ideas against Chandler.
All-Pro Bruce Smith comes around, All-Pro Chris Hinton gets the hit on Chris Chandler.
Chandler was hurt, dazed, had to leave. Hogaboom relieved him later. Jim Kelly had pretty good protection much of the day, twice hooked up with Andre Reed, who caught 7 balls on the day, giving him a 71 for the year. That's a new Buffalo team record. And remember some of the great receivers they had, like Albert Golden Wheels DeBenion and others. Colts had their heroes, too. Watch the blocking.
Tight end Mark Boyer and the tackle Kevin Call. Open up a nice hole for Dickerson, give him some of that 166 yards he gained today.
Yeah, Eric was a major league workhorse with 36 carries. But the Bills went 14-3 in the fourth quarter. We're looking for home field throughout, which might be their ticket to the Super Bowl. On a 4th and 3, Gary Hogaboom keeps a Colts drive alive, hitting Billy Brooks for 6 yards. Then Hogaboom, with 5.5 minutes to go, to Matt Booza, touchdown. Bills lead cut to 14-10. With a $1:45 to go, the Colts with a shot. 3rd and 7 to the Bills, 22. First carry of the day, Albert Bentley leaping over the Bills. 10 big yards, a gutsy call, and a first down. Minute 8 left. The Colts go ahead. Hogeboom to Bentley for 12 yards and a touchdown. A last drive ends in a sack by the Colts of Kelly. And there's Hogeboom's number. Nice job in relief as the Colts win at 17-14. The Bills go out, losers of 3 of their last 4. Indy lost 5 of their last 6, almost made the playoffs, finishing at 9-7. Meanwhile, Ken Hall's snap goes past Kelly, 15-yard loss. Norwood short on a 50-yard field goal. Nice drive, still no score. Second possession, the Bills are still throwing. Kelly to Chris Burkett for 19 yards. Now watch Jim Kelly on this play, Tommy. This is indicative of the way he looked today.
This is a poised Jim Kelly that I'm sure the Bills are glad to see around play. His second receiver leads him perfectly. Going to be a key next week.
Jim Kelly upping his play at notch or 2. The Bills then decide, well, we haven't run Thurman Thomas yet. Why don't we? First carry, his longest carry of the season. 41 yards for the rookie before he's knocked out of bounds. He had 7 carries, 75 yards today. Later on the drive, 4th and 1 at about the 2.5. The Bills send in Scott Norwood for the field goal attempt. Jim Kelly runs on the field, calls timeout, convinces Marv Levy to go for it. And the Bills go for it at 4th and 1/2. Play action. But they can't find Metzelar's nice defense by Donaldson. 2 trips down the field for Buffalo. No points. Big matchup today, the Bruces.
Well, Bruce Davis had his hands full all day trying to control Mr. Smith. He did a pretty good job of it early in the game. Here you see him popping him out. He's 325-plus pounds of man, doing a pretty good job on it. Here, as they move Bruce Smith around, he gets up the middle. He finally gets a good sack on Warren Moon.
Pressure also put on Oiler punter Greg Montgomery. Leonard Smith blocks Montgomery's punt, and the Bills, with a big special team play, one of many on the afternoon. Then Thurman Thomas busting off the right side for 16 yards. He ran like he was shot out of a cannon today. That sets up Rob Riddick. Driving. Touchdown. 7-0 Bills on the Oilers sideline, dapperly dressed in the black ski parka after they get done scrapping. Jerry Glanville knows he's in for a tough afternoon, but so did Warren Moon. He and Drew Hill almost completed, but no, he's out of bounds. He hits the post pattern. Take another look. Hill clearly juggling the ball. That post pattern was open all day for the Oilers, except when they ran it too close to the post. Hill had to leave the game with a sprained neck. That would be a big loss for Houston. More bad news for the Oilers. Tony Zendejas field goal blocked by Bruce Smith. 4 times the Bills have blocked field goals this year. 7-3 Buffalo at the half over Glanville's gang. In the third quarter, Jim Kelly looks over the middle, but Tracy Eaton will make his first interception of his career. Couldn't come at a better time. Only mistake for Kelly on the day, but at this point it looked like the momentum was shifting. The Oilers driving on 3rd and goal following the INT. Warren Moon, no. Nice contained by Burrows. Pitch for Rozier goes back out of bounds, and it forces a field goal attempt by Tony Zendejas. He hooks it. The Bills escape unscathed. It's still 7-3. And the momentum shifting as Thurman Thomas takes the pitch right. 10 yards, bowling into the end zone, 14-3 Buffalo. In the fourth quarter, the Bills looking to the knockout punch. 4th and goal, they gamble again rather than field goal, but John Brimsley, the great defensive play, knocking Rob Riddick short, and the Oilers still have a chance. Warren Moon back to pass, intercepted by Mark Kelso to the 40, Kelso to the 35, Kelso to the 25. Kelso is stopped at the 8th hole, but a big turnover sets up a field goal. 17-3. First Buffalo interception since week number 11. First one in 5 weeks. Warren Moon, though, did not give up. Showed his class in a money game. Moon to Leonard Harris. 29 big yards. That eventually sets up a 1-yard run by Mike Rozier. And the Bills, as did the Bengals the day before, or the Bears, couldn't put it away. Houston had pulled it within 7, 17-10. The Oilers and Moon looking for one last shot. They stopped the Bills at the 2-minute warning. John Kidd to punt, Curtis Duncan to receive. A year ago, Steve Tasker was a special playman from the AFC in the Pro Bowl. Makes the hit. Linebacker number 50, Ray Bentley, falls on the ball. It's over. The Bills are celebrating a trip to the AFC Championship game, a trip they haven't made since the 60s, as the Buffalo Bills beat the Houston Oilers 17-10, and Rich Stadium was rocking as the Bills upped their home record to 9-0, and after the game, Coach Marv Levy had plenty to say about his special teams.
A media call Wednesday with the Houston media, one of the members asked me, said, Coach, Houston has the great special teams, best special teams in the National Football League, and they are good special teams. How are you guys going to handle that? And I repeated the question to our players. And I want to thank whoever asked me that question, because I repeated an honest question to them. It helped to motivate them.
Well, we heard all week Coach Levy was telling us how good Houston Oilers say that their special teams were. They said that they were the best in the league. We knew coming into the game that how good our special teams were, and I think really were excited about it, and they really put everything together. I mean, from blocking a kick to really covering the kickoffs. That's why we're number 1 in the National Football League in covering kickoffs, and probably number 2 overall in special teams. They proved it today.
We watched it on film against Tampa Bay, and they just did a great job of pushing people back and getting about 3-4 yards penetration. And I don't know how they do it. It's just, our offensive line is very good at that, and I don't know. You just got to give them credit. They did a good job on this.
Buffalo did a lot of little things you don't expect of a team that hadn't been in the playoffs since 1981. And I think Jim Kelly did a lot of big things today. We've been waiting for Kelly to grow up a little bit this season as a quarterback. He was telling everybody, Tommy, he was grown up. He had a point to prove today.
Yeah, and he proved it. We talked this morning about how important it was for Kelly to play well. Early in the game, he was authoritative. I thought he was more accurate than he's been all season, and especially when they couldn't get the ball in and made a couple of mistakes when they got down close early in the game, he kept them poised, kept them ready to play so that they didn't go the way that the Eagles went yesterday.
I would like to ask, why are we listening to anyone named Zendejas commenting on special teams? They are on this earth to destroy humanity, or at least those of us humans who bet on games. But beside that, this was a bitter day for Jerry Glanville. He did take great pride in his special teams. Now he gets a punt blocked, a field goal blocked, a punt fumbled. But beyond that, they didn't even get any good kickoff returns. They were always stopped inside the 20 or very close to the 20. I think Glanville feels a little like he left tickets for Elvis, and they were picked up by Tony Marsala and the Flatbush 3.
In some ways, though, I think the Houston Oilers grew up in defeat. They played a classy game. They learned very early that in Buffalo they were playing a team that could dish them out as hard, if not harder than them. And there wasn't very much cheap stuff. There wasn't cheap stuff at the end when they lost. I think in defeat, though, the Oilers can be proud that they grew up. And certainly in victory, the Buffalo Bills made a major step growing up today.
Not Zendejas.
Well, you'll have to take that up on another program, Pete. The Buffalo Bills are moving on to the playoffs against Cincinnati next week. We'll have more on this game, and we'll take a look at the late game. How special have the special teams been for the Bills this season? Today, as all year, very much so. We'll be right back. Riverfront Stadium, they like to see that place. To the Bengals, they were ready to crush them in the jungle. Boomer Esiason with the Tiger Stripes against Jim Machine Gun Kelly, not having dinner together last night. Rough early going for Kelly, off of Harmon's hand. Lewis Phillips, number 24, picks the ball off on Buffalo's first series. Then, very early in the first quarter, no, you're not number 1 yet, Lou, but you got the interception. 1st and 10 from the 9. Next series, Kelly throws behind Tremaine Johnson. Eric Thomas picks it up, returns it all the way down to the 4-yard line. And it was a throw time that Jim Kelly certainly would have liked to have back because it appeared that guys were open.
Well, I don't know whether the ball sailed on him or just got away. It looked like he misread the coverage. Both guys were open. He didn't get the ball. Same results either way.
It wasn't smooth sailing for Boomer Esiason either. Boomer with the throw. Nate Odoms with the deflection. And unsung linebacker Ray Bentley saved the day at the moment for the Bills with the pickoff at the 4-yard line. But then Boomer got on track from the 27. Ronnie Holman is open, and he makes the shoestring catch at the 5. And then on 2nd and goal, Ickey Woods, the man who is getting more famous by the carry. Is he in? Well, is he in? Yeah, they say he's over the end zone. Sam Weiss will take it. Ickey does the shake. The Bengals lead 7-0. But Buffalo came right back. They got good field position. Kelly and Andre Reed, and we're tied at 7. Let's go to the line of scrimmage in this ballgame we talked about on game day, the role Bruce Smith would play.
Smith beats Munoz on the 3rd play of the game for a sack. At this time, the Buffalo Bills defense was rolling on the other side of the football. Cincinnati able to blow that big line of scrimmage, take their line, blow the Bills off, get Ickey Woods through the hole.
Yeah, Munoz, Montoya, and company doing some blocking, and then the nicest touch pass you'll see aside is to James Brooks, 10 yards. Boomer throwing for 94 yards. He didn't care because the Bengals led 14-7. What about this call? They call face mask on Bruce Smith, nullifying a sack, saying the jersey's part of the face mask. Referee later, away from the play, said it wasn't a face mask. No kidding. But Mark Kelso got the Bills out of trouble with that play. Kelso with the interception, and Buffalo had held once again down to the 29-yard line, setting up a field goal by Scott Norwood. 14-10 Cincy at the half. defensive struggle in the third quarter. Watch what happens to Ronnie Harmon on the trick play.
Bills open up their full bag of tricks. You see Harmon looking for a hole up the middle, tries to get outside. Fulcher, who spent much of the day in the backfield, helps force him outside, gets the tackle by Thomas.
Now, on the Buffalo side of the ball, can Art still play some defense
I believe Art still can play. He destroys Blados, gets to the side and grabs him down with one hand.
A scoreless third quarter remained 14-10. Special teams so important in Buffalo's win last week against Houston. Watch Lee Johnson's punt. Jennings really doesn't get a piece of it, but it stops like a great chip shot on the 1-yard line. And on the next drive, it gets only a few yards in Buffalo to punt. The next play, they fake the punt. They call it the Buffalo punt. Turk Schonert in as the quote blocking back. Hands to Stanley Wilson. Sam Weiss, he couldn't do the quick huddle, but he's pumped up because the first down on the play. What kills the team are mistakes. Shane Conlon with a big play would have set up a 3rd and 8 situation. And if they had held there, it would have been a 17-10 game. But Gene Bart's called personal foul. Derek Burrows against Tim McGee, and this, whether he was thrown out or not, which he was, isn't the point. This is ridiculous.
Tremendously stupid move. No retaliation like this is ever going to do you or your team any good.
So they get the first down after the penalty. They try one play. The gun blows. They go to the fourth quarter, and then Ickey Woods powers it over. So instead of maybe 17-10, it's 21-10. Burrows is on the sideline, and the Bills are out of the game. Ickey Woods, second most carries he's had this year. He had 30 earlier against the Jets, 29 carries, 100-yard day today. Kelly would not give up. He had Trumaine Johnson for 26 yards. Kelly threw for only 163 yards today. Obviously, yards tough to come by against both defenses on this day. But twice in the drive, the Bills were close, but no cigar. The clock continued to go on a dead ball situation following the incompletion of Harmon. Finally, Gene Bart says, you know what, let's just get rid of the clock altogether. At 4th and 10, last gas, down by 11. Although there's plenty of time left in the game, the overthrow, Fulcher, the one of the few times he's not on the line of scrimmage, Tommy makes the interception. And Marv Levy's Super Bowl dream this year is going to go awry. Meanwhile, Eddie Brown going home, played college ball Miami, lived down there. Sam Weiss and David Fulcher, the villains, a year ago on the play in week 2, in which the Niners hit Rice. It was Fulcher was beaten, Weiss that took everything for a year. They're throwing Gatorade on each other. Boomer Esiason goes off the field, the Super Bowl quarterback. Sam, yeah, you were 4-11. Your team is 12-4. Make it 14-4, and Miami bound. The final in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals 21 and the Buffalo Bills 10. Key moment in the game. We pointed out the Burrows ejection and the 15-yard flagrant foul. After the game, Jim Kelly spoke for his teammates about the Burrows play.
I don't know. I'm not going to start pointing fingers at anybody. It's something when you get caught up in the game, you want to win so bad, you try to do everything you possibly can. There's no doubt today we were dumb and we were dirty. Well, I guess I really shouldn't say dirty, but you know, when you're out there fighting and you want to win so bad, sometimes it gets the best of you. But I think we were out there and everybody gave it all.
Timmy just kept saying, you know, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to get this guy. And I'm like, you're going to get him. Good, you know, you can get him. But and sure enough, he got him. And I don't know what was going on. All I know is that Timmy was doing his job, and Derek was probably very upset about it. And I think that was a very crucial play in the game. There's no question about it.
And some scuffling in the Bills' locker room after the game involving Errol Tucker, one of the kick return men, involving Joe Devlin, some of the veterans on the Bills. Can't believe that a tough effort, they were taken out of it like that, but they were low-keying that after the ball game, but apparently it did happen. Tommy, you said earlier on game day, the Bills know what it's like to be undefeated at home since they had to take Cincinnati's crowd out of the game, and they couldn't quite do it.
Difficult task. We talked about the fact that they would have to score early. When I asked the Bills how many points you'd have to score, they said 25 or more. They got 10 today. That burden fell on Jim Kelly. And I think early in the game when he threw the 2 picks in the first quarter, he kept the Cincinnati crowd in the football game, although he did respond with a couple of drives. And then the second quarter, midway through the second quarter on, the field position just killed him. It was atrocious.
Well, speaking of atrocious, I'm tired of telling you guys or you viewers, Sam Weiss happens to be a brilliant coach, and he showed it again today. A fake punt, and at the end, when everyone in the world thought he would sit on the ball and run like he did against Seattle, instead he was throwing those short passes. Had Boomer throwing those short passes, crossing up the Bills and keeping the game safe. Weiss outcoached Marv Levy. As for Marv, he just got a little conservative. When you're first and 10 on your own 1. And you run 3 line plunges, you're not going to get a first down. It's so conservative. You know, Marv's a history buff, and I know he's reading The Last Lion, the latest biography of Winston Churchill. And if Churchill had used Marv's strategy, he wouldn't have made the stand at Dunkirk. It would have been a Staten Island.
Well, I tell you what was an island. The Bills' running game must have felt like that. Now, let's give Cincinnati's rush defense some credit. This is a defense that ranks 15th overall on the season and definitely the worst of the 4 on paper going in. Against Seattle, they give up 18 yards rushing. Against Buffalo, they give up 45 yards rushing. They certainly did the job. And Buffalo, they worked so hard last week not to get caught in the retaliation penalties against Houston. They forgot their lesson this week, and it cost them the game. Super defense. Bengals in the playoffs have been much better than the Bengals in the... you run faster than he does. You shuffle better than he does. Bills shuffle to the wrong tune today at times.
Well, you talk about poison, and in case you haven't seen this play enough, I'm going to show it to you again. Here's Burrows, Derek Burrows. This is, as Tom said, a stupid play. Losing your poise at a time like this nullified a big Shane Conlon stop, and Levy had a few things to say about it, and Joe Devlin had a lot to say about it, as well they should. This was... you don't play like this. And he had not only 1, but 2. He got thrown out of the game, and Rob Riddick came on with his own stupid 15-yard penalty, and fittingly enough, here they are together.
Boy, you talking about us? One thing, you have to wonder, Week 14, when Buffalo lost to Tampa Bay 10-5, did that cost them a trip to the Super Bowl? They might have been home today, but we're not trying to take anything away from the Cincinnati Bengals, who earned it. They did it the old-fashioned way. Watching everybody else win the division. One team that always used to beat up on them was the Miami Dolphins, but Buffalo had beaten 4 in a row, and they went down to Miami expected to win the game at Joe Robbie Stadium. Only temperatures, well, they were way, way up high, near the 100-degree mark. But Dan Marino ready against Cornelius Bennett and company, hits Troy Stratford early with a pass, and then out of the shotgun, look at the Dolphins' new pants, folks. Avoids the rush of Cornelius. See, Marino is faster in the new pants, completes it to Crash Jensen. Marino delaying the calls, Buffalo offside, but completes on the free play to Andre Brown. Next play, Marino to Mark Duper, who guaranteed a victory in this game, beats Nate Odoms, sets up a run by Stratford, 7-3 Miami, an upset in the making. The other side of the ball, the Bills line open in some holes for Thurman Thomas. But again, it was Thurman Thomas left, right, and some other things, not a lot else. Throwing the ball, Kelly with a lot of time here. And William Judson figures, I just better take a pass interference penalty. That sets up the Bills only scoring in the half. It's 7-3. Jim Kelly has all the time in the world. Andre Reed, wide open, drops the ball at the 10-yard line. You think the Dolphin defense was fired up? Yeah, they made the hit right there. Number 1 draft pick, Lewis Oliver. At least the one that they've signed thus far. 10-3 Miami at the half. Second half, Bills big play defense. Troy Stratford coughs up the ball. Shane Conlon caused it. Cornelius Bennett recovered it. 2 plays later, the Bills scored 10-10. But Jensen blocks the punt by John Kidd. Mark Logan recovers. The Dolphins lead 17-10. Kelly finally gets it going. Finds Flip Johnson in the end zone. 24-20 Miami. Defense on 3rd and 8. Nate Odoms with the big interception returns it to the 49-yard line. The Bills trying to mount a last gasp drive with 2 seconds to go. Jim Kelly, who in 44 NFL games had never scored a rushing touchdown, scores on the last play of the game. They come back about 3 minutes later and kick the extra point. Buffalo wins by 3, 27-24 over Miami.
One of those defenses happens to belong to the Denver Broncos.
Buffalo fans have gotten used to relentless defense lately, and on Monday night they got plenty of it. From the Broncos.
And a tackle in the end zone for a safety. I think it's Michael Brooks.
Belittled in recent years for its undersized defense, the Broncos came up with a big play, forcing 3 sacks and 3 interceptions against the zipless Bills.
Continues the count. Again, watch that quick throw, and this time it's intercepted Braxton. 40, 30, tackled and pulled out of bounds by Kennebrew.
Bills fans were looking for a win to quench their thirst after a ban on beer in Rich Stadium. But on this night, it was the Broncos who drank from the loving cup.
The running back, Johnson in motion. Elway rolls left on first down. Throws it is complete, and Vance Johnson will score the touchdown.
And when Buffalo's first Monday night party since 1984 was over, it was the Bills who had to swallow a 28-14 defeat.
Early this season, away from the House of Pain. But by the way, the Oilers have opened up. The Astrodome didn't matter. It was the House of Strain. Into town came another team stumbling a little bit, the Buffalo Bills. But this is what the fans thought they'd do to Jim Kelly, the Oilers. But early on, Kelly goes for Andre Reed, hits him in the helmet. Embarrassed. Meanwhile, the Bills secondary, embarrassed. Warren Moon to Drew Hill on the crossing pattern. Burning Leonard Smith, motors 48 yards before he's pushed out on the 1 yard line, sets up a Moon touchdown. The Oilers lead at 7-3. But Leonard comes back with an interception, and Kelly to Thurman Thomas. How important is he to Buffalo's offense? 10-7 Bills after one. This one had the feel of a wham banger. Tony Zendejas. Good day for the Zendejases. There's a field goal, cuts the Bills lead to 13-10, but not good here. It's blocked, and by Darryl Talley, and picked up by number 38, Mark Kelso. Kelso to the half pole, Kelso to the 50, Kelso to the 40, Kelso to the 8 pole, Kelso with a furlong to go, Kelso in the last play of the half, touchdown. And the Bills lead it 20-10 rather than being tied at 13-all. You look at it again, special teams. Chris, the Oilers last year, Tom.
Chris, big breakdown on special teams. John Grimsley lets Darryl Talley inside untouched. You never do that on special teams.
Remember that play, because missed opportunities like Bubba McDowell's blown interception or Leon Seals hit on Warren Moon. The ball is right in front of him. It was a game of missed opportunities. The opportunities were there, but often the team didn't cash in. Killebrew fumbles. Oilers are everywhere. Who recovers? Jim Kelly getting battered again, but he's on the ball. No missed opportunity here in the third quarter. Kelly to the rookie speedster, Don Beebe, and he is going to flat out run into the end zone. Let get him go, 63 yards, 27-10, the Bills in a laugher in the House of Pain. But Highsmith scores a touchdown to make it 27-17. And did someone say special teams? John Kidd blocked by Chris Dishman. He waltzes in for the touchdown. And it's 27-24 Bills. What is going on? The Bills should have put it away.
This time it's Ray Bentley. He lets Bubba McDowell in. And once you get the kick blocked, Dishman makes the good pickup into the end zone.
We go on to the fourth quarter of a game getting wilder by the minute. Kelly to Andre Reed, who says goodbye to Steve Brown. He could go all the way. 78 yards. Once again, Andre Reed. 100-yard day, receiving at a big day on Monday night in a loss. And the Bills are up by 10. 34-24 in the House of Pain. But Moon to Ernest Gibbons. Watch him make the turn as one man to beat. It's Kelso, and he flips into the end zone for a touchdown. 34-31 Buffalo. Do not try this at home, right, Tom?
Unless you're a Louisville product like Ernie Gibbons is. Now here he gets to the goal line. He tries to leap, but he gets the leg nicked. Came down almost on his feet, but that's got to sting a little bit.
Except for the Russian judge, he got a perfect mark everywhere else. So Buffalo, Kelly looking for Andre Reed. It's picked off by Steve Brown on his banner renown. He's down to the 7-yard line. Lorenzo White with the touchdown. And the Oilers lead it 38-34 in the fourth. You see the time remaining in the game. Kelly, heavy pressure. Looks for that man, number 34, Thurman Thomas. He's all alone. He's in the end zone. The Bills lead it 41-38. Jerry Glanville says not in the House of Pain. Oilers on the ropes. Moon, Hayward Jeffries, hit by Nate Odoms. It looks like the game is over when Darryl Talley scores. But hold everything. The rule is receiver must have possession.
I thought it was a horrible call because not only did he have possession, but he started to make a move upfield and was hit.
But the Oilers got to keep the ball, and with 8 seconds to go, a Zendejas field goal of 52 yards. Ties it at 41. We're going to OT after the questionable call. Zendejas can end everything from 43 yards, but no. Offsides. Zendejas will have another shot of 38 yards. The kick is, no, off to the left. Well, you can't expect it for 9 quarters, Axe. Zendejas missed it. So Kelly has the last laugh to Andre Reed. He gets loose. And he could go all the way for the touchdown. Jerry Glanville sees the Oilers lose in the House of Pain, 47-41. Jim Kelly, and there's Zendejas. Jim Kelly, a career and team high 5 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh,
Bills are going to go a long way. But the quarterback problem in this game wasn't with the Buffalo Bills. It was with New England. They decided to make a change. Tony Eason had taken so much abuse that Raymond Berry said, I have to go with the little one, Doug Flutie, and he decided to do it on the road for the first time. Looking for better times with his starting quarterback, Doug Flutie, 8-3 as a starter. But a rocky beginning for Flutie. Looking for Hartley Dykes, just zips it over his head. Now Flutie looking for the sidelines this time, and he will get the sidelines. But that's all he'll get. No receiver over there looking for Cedric Jones. Tom, he's struggling.
We talked about his problems in the pocket. He has to throw that ball over some linemen who are some of them standing a foot taller than him. Here again, he needs a lane to throw the ball. He can't find it. Gets another pass knocked down.
Flutie does come up and knock the ball towards the earth, though, to save an interception. If it wasn't enough from the shotgun, he's scrambling. Receivers are covered, and he cannot outrun Bruce Smith, who grabs him from behind and takes him down. Jim Kelly, though, not with the same trouble. Out of the pack, looks like he's going to be sacked, rolls out to his right, and then lofts this one off of 1 foot. Andre Reed is there to make the big catch. Kelly finds Andre Reed one other time. Andre Reed with a big day, 114 yards, and for the third consecutive game, he would go over 100 yards. That is a Buffalo Bills record. Jim Kelly and Reed's receiving led to plenty of touchdowns as well. Thurman Thomas takes the grab here. Remember, Larry Kinnebrew, who would normally punch it over from that close, was suspended, but Thurman takes it in for the touchdown. Second quarter, it's 14-3 for the Bills. And Jim Kelly wants to find his tight end, Pete Metzlars. Metzlars is there to make the grab. Kelly in the pocket, zips it in there. Touchdown, 21-3. It was 24-3 at halftime. Second half, Doug Flutie trying to change things. An 80-yard drive here. He rolls to his right. He's being hounded. Still finds Cedric Jones for the game. Third quarter. Patriots is still driving, 24-3. Flutie to Cedric Jones one more time, this time for the touchdown. But Doug Flutie simply had a horrendous day as they will come back to Foxborough, and they'll probably give him another shot at starting in front of the hometown fans. Jim Kelly wasn't through either. Fourth quarter to Thurman Thomas. And where was the defense? He just takes off by himself. 73 yards for the touchdown to make it 31-10. Jim Kelly was not intercepted and tossed 3 touchdown passes on the day. Doug Flutie trying to answer back in the fourth quarter. Rolls to his right, up into the pocket, dumps this one off. I mean, this one was thrown out of bounds, and to add insult to injury, wouldn't have counted anyway because it was an illegal forward pass. Buffalo now 3-1. The Patriots have scored just 23 points.
Beat the Colts. They didn't do it there last year, but if they could win today, they'd own a 2-game lead over the entire division. But if not, it would be a logjam. Jim Kelly, who had thrown 10 touchdown passes in the 4 games going in, saw plenty of blue today. Freddie Young forces the fumble. Donnell Thompson recovers it. The result, a Colts touchdown. And you get the feeling this was not the way the Bills offense had played for the first 4 games. Donnell Thompson really lays down a hit. 4 sacks of Buffalo quarterbacks today. Kelly then distracted, can't handle the next snap. Sam Clancy buries him by the time he gets the football. And he just saw more and more Colts, Tommy.
Quintus McDonald here taking a free shot. Even though he gets the pass off, Kelly's falling on that left shoulder. It's already taking some punishment. Punishment was a catchword for him. They continued to swarm him all day. Here the interception by Dwayne Pickett. Driving Kelly crazy all day.
Turnovers ruined the Bills and Marv Levy on this day. Colts continue to pound on Jim Kelly. Once again, the crumbling pocket, and the Colts have that gambling defense, which certainly worked to perfection. An ill-advised pass that Keith Taylor picks off. Third turnover of the half, 20-0 Colts at halftime. Would things get better in the second half? Well, this is Buffalo's first pass of the third quarter. And Jim looked in the yellow pages and found a Plummer. The problem was he plays for the Colts, Bruce Plummer. And Plummer could go all the way, but he's going to fall down at the 11-yard line rule. He's down by contact, a field goal. It's 23-0 Colts. Finally, the Bills, who have just handed the Colts all these points, showed some life. But when they get a touchdown, they paid for it. Kelly to Reed, 16 yards, but Kelly took a shot, and Tommy watched him land.
Well, mass time velocity equals force. John Hand has the mass, 300 pounds, puts the hit on Kelly from the right side, and both he and Kelly fall on Kelly's left shoulder.
And this just in, E equals MC squared. Kelly had to leave out for about 4 weeks with a separated shoulder. More on that in a moment. so the Colts would take it easy, right? Well, Dickerson didn't start, didn't quite get 100 yards, but he got 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, 30-7 Colts. Kelly's replacement, Frank Reich, and now he's thrown it to Sudetenland on that one. It's picked off by Keith Taylor, his second interception of the day, and he stumbles. Yeah, he's the offensive lineman's really going to catch him. 80-yard touchdown, 37-14. The Colts romp. 6 Bills turnovers converted to 23 Colts points. And it's the Colts tying the Bills for first in the division.
Quarterbacks got their starts trying to get their team to victory. 3 of them were successful.
Facing an undefeated Rams team without Jim Kelly, many predicted a Blue Monday for the Buffalo Bills. Instead, it was the Rams who felt blue, black and blue, as the Bills played with a powerful resolve.
Reich rolling out to the left side to throw, fires, and it is caught for the touchdown by Thurman Thomas.
Backup quarterback Frank Reich's fourth-quarter touchdown to Thurman Thomas put the Bills ahead for the first time, 16-13. But fate can be fickle, especially on Monday nights. Thurman Thomas's fumble gave the Rams another chance, and undefeated teams rarely squander such opportunity.
Play back to throw, looking, he throws, and it is caught, and breaking clear at the 40 is Willie Anderson for a touchdown. Incredible.
Flipper Anderson's 78-yard touchdown reception put the Rams up by 4 with only 1:22 to play. Undaunted, Reich led the Bills on a desperate last drive, completing 7 consecutive passes, including one to Andre Reed with 16 seconds to play.
Right to throw, the in pattern, and it is caught for the touchdown by Andre Reed. Do you believe it? Do you believe it?
And the best team in New York, really the only one that plays in New York, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills took on the Jets today at Rich Stadium, and maybe they're going to recall him because Frank Reich has been doing a very nice job indeed, subbing for Jim Kelly at quarterback. Here's Jim on the sidelines. And was this a normal game? Well, no. The Jets on a punt return, the defense had held the Bills, or at least they thought.
12 men on the receiving team. Our guy penalty from the previous spot.
So that means the Bills get the ball back and they would try a field goal. But Scott Mesereau's offside, so they get a chance to go for the touchdown. Thurman Thomas left. 10-0 Buffalo. Kenny O'Brien back in the starting role for the New York Jets. Had no help from Johnny Hector. Had little help from JoJo Townsend. Get back, JoJo. And old Bill Chris Burkett could have thrilled the fans with it. No, he didn't catch it. And Freeman, no. And Ken O'Brien finally hits Freeman McNeil, but then guess what? Fumble. Leonard Smith is going to pick up the ball, and he rumbles day. The Blizzard defense held the Jets to only 3 first downs in the first half. And Reggie McElroy couldn't even catch that pass. So that's what the Jets offense looked like. And then there was the matter of Bruce Smith.
And Bruce Smith has discovered a new way to get to the quarterback. Instead of coming up front, always get behind the guy. Bruce Smith with the sack from behind. Bruce Smith coming around the corner with the sack from behind.
And then when you're worried about Bruce,
we get one more time. Bruce Smith with the sack.
No, he runs into his own lineman, Jeff Criswell. Yeah. Criswell with the sack. Ken O'Brien, 11 of 29, 140 yards. Well, whatever it is. But Bruce Smith had 3 of 5 Buffalo sacks today, 52 in his career. And what about Frank Reich, the hero of last Monday night against the Rams? And Andre Reed, 20 yards out, made it a 20-0 Buffalo lead. And Jim Kelly is saying, whoa, this is not too bad. Buffalo goes on to humble the Jets 34-3, holding them to only 154 yards.
In Miami, the Dolphins would be tied for first place. The Bills today were looking for the series sweep for the 3rd straight year and their 5th straight win. Jim Kelly still not strong enough to play, but Bruce Smith and the Buffalo defense was ready. Smith just waits for Sammy Smith and drills him to the turf. Smith, a dominant force as usual. The Bills pressured Dan Marino constantly, and Marino isn't used to that. Under the heat, he fires. It's picked off by Cornelius Bennett. The Bills in business with good field position. And Thurman Thomas out of Oklahoma State, the right side, takes it to the sideline. And then watch the cutback, goes 30 yards, takes it in for the touchdown. And not too many people do it better than that, Tom.
Thurman Thomas is probably as good a back as you'll see in this league. He has excellent moves, a burst that gets him through the line of scrimmage, and once he gets to the sideline, what you like as a coach is cut back and really turn it on right there. Shifts it in the fourth gear.
Yeah, that's picking up speed in a hurry. The Bills are really hungry for the sack of Marino. 19 games since he's been sacked, but Jeff Wright gets in there, gets him at the one. First time in 759 passing attempts that Dan Marino was beat, and he was beaten badly on this one.
Well, Jeff Ulenek gets the center, turned, gets his shoulders by. Marino just can't avoid him.
Marino goes down twice in the game, but Frank Wright didn't throw the ball too often. But when Wright did throw the ball, he made it count. Finds Don Beebe, 63 yards for the touchdown. Only 9 tosses on the day for Wright, but he had Buffalo on top 21-3 as he hit 6 of them. Marino gets Miami going in the third quarter. Mark Clayton, who makes nice moves there between 2 defenders, takes off with everyone chasing him, picks up a block into the end zone for the touchdown. It's now a 21-10 game. That man, Thurman Thomas, was at it again.
You can't say too much about Thurman. Once he catches the ball, he's always got the great vision, makes a nice little hurdle there, always refusing to run out of bounds, gets every yard that he can get.
Career-high 148 yards, and Don Shula would have a big decision. 4th and inches at the Bills' 47. Give it to Sammy Smith. Smith is just stopped cold by Bruce Smith, and the Bills were fired up.
It's one of my favorite linebackers in the league. This is Cornelius. Started outside, came inside, and there he is getting another piece of Marino. And there's Bruce Smith getting a piece of Marino.
Dan Marino not used to that, and when you're pressured, this will happen. The pass is tipped. It's picked off by Kirby Jackson, his second of the game. Some shifty moves. He goes 40 yards and takes it down the sidelines into the end zone for the touchdown. 31-10, the Bills on top. Dan Marino, if you read lips, you know Dan Marino's not a happy guy as the Bills win it. Dan Marino's 19 straight without being sacked. That was 3 weeks in the first quarter. Kelly hits James Lofton for 10 yards, his 600th career reception, and he was not done. He hit Lofton one more time. This one 7 yards for a touchdown, 7-zip Bills. Chris Miller goes down the sidelines to Deion Sanders, who was playing on offense. And Tom, boy, did he get a lesson.
Well, Deion Sanders finding out what it's like to be a receiver and have the safety come over in time.
Paybacks, I think is what they call him. Miller again to Deion, right through his hands, and Marion Campbell says, I got to teach him a few things. Number 21 looking on, learning the offense. Kelly's pass goes from Flip Johnson's hands into the hands of Albert Shelley. And he takes off, taking it inside the Bills' 10-yard line on 3rd and goal. Keith Jones will go over the top. Watch him twist and slide into the end zone. Falcons lead 10-7. Bills' next possession. Jim Kelly goes across the middle to Andre Reed. This one covers 28 yards, setting up the Bills. Later, play action. Kelly to Keith McKellar, 11 yards. And Buffalo's back on top. But the Falcons come right back. Miller goes down the sidelines. Ricky Dixon is wide open as he beats Kirby Jackson, 17-14 Falcons. But Miller paid the price.
Well, Bruce Smith, I think an unintentional hit. He's just so big, they're about head level when he bends over.
Yeah, it's tough to get out of that big guy's way. 20-14, here come the Bills. Thurman Thomas cuts in, goes in from the 3, 21-20 for Buffalo. The fourth quarter, key play, 3rd and 15 for the Falcons. Watch Miller scramble. George Thomas, Nate Odom's on his back, bumps him, grabs him. That is pass interference, and the drive stays alive. Miller then hits Jones, leaps over Kirby Jackson right there, and gets the first down. A little bit of high jumping ability here.
Well, it's great athletic talent, and what it teaches a defender is never keep your head down. Always keep your eyes up where you can see the ball carrier coming at you.
Later, Jones goes airborne from the 5. He's in. And Marion Campbell thinks he has the victory. But on the ensuing kickoff, Don Beebe, who's been timed at 4-2, 8 in the 40, could go all the way. But Deion Sanders is trying to catch him. And prime time does haul him down from behind. Larry Kinnebrew would score from the 1-yard out, 28-27 Buffalo. Chris Miller, though, was not done. Miller scrambling again. Hits Stacey Bailey, 41 yards, rather. And Marv Levy now is the one who has to worry a little bit. It's McFadden, who had earlier hit from 54 yards, the longest of his career, and a chippy at 50 yards here. And knocks it through as the Falcons win 30-28. It ends a 2-game losing streak. The Bills' 3-game winning streak. McFadden's longest field goal of his career was also the longest at Fulton County Stadium. For Indianapolis on the opening kickoff, Scott Norwood kicks it to the near side. James Pruitt fields it, and Mickey Sutton will come up with the fumble recovery as the ball just popped loose, and the Bills were in range to start things for Jim Kelly. Kelly looks over the middle. This pass deflected, and this is how it would go for the Bills. Thurman Thomas is right there to catch it. 5 plays into the game. Bills were up 7-0, and Ron Meyer had to look to Eric Dickerson, Tom.
Well, looking to Dickerson, but maybe the first time he looked to him, maybe he shouldn't have tried a trick snap from center. Dickerson looking upfield, loses sight of the football, gets tackled, it's hit. Leonard Smith recovers. His problems did not stop there. On his very next carry, he's coming up the football field looking for the cutback lane. Ball gets booted away from him. Cornelius Bennett with the recovery. Cornelius always around the football and showing that gratitude to Eric on the sideline.
Thank you very much, Eric, he says. And then those 2 fumbles would lead to Scott Norwood's field goals of 42 and 40 yards. 13-0 was the score after the first quarter. Jim Kelly and Andre Reed then start to get things going. Kelly hits Reed, and watch the move Reed puts on good. 32 yards for the touchdown, and Buffalo now on top 20-0. Then just before the half ends, Kelly hooks up with Reed from 3 yards out. This ball is tipped again, 27-0. Bills with the lead at halftime, and Buffalo making the plays defensively as well.
This is what makes Cornelius Bennett the player he is. He plays off 2 blockers, gets caught inside a little bit, has the speed to get back outside and bring down Eric Dickerson. In quarterback time, Ramsey comes in, doesn't get much help. Goes for Andre Rison down the sideline, a perfect pass, and it's dropped.
Ron Meyer's offensive unit hapless, 64 yards rushing and -7 passing. Now the second half, not much better. Colts get their only score. Eric Dickerson fumbles the ball. Randy Dixon there was there to recover it for Eric Dickerson, so he got away with it, but 30-7 was the score, and Eric Dickerson walking off saying, boy, Pete Axelm is going to give me a hard time. Colts, 3 turnovers, kick off in their first 2 possessions. Bills had the ball 41 minutes. Me had this man, Cornelius Bennett, leaving the first half with a strained left knee. The problems, normally reliable Scott Norwood misses a 24-yard chip shot. Bills nursing a 10-6 lead. Doug Flutie on the sidelines, praying for something to happen in the second half for New England. There's Flutie, and it worked because they give it to the rookie. And Patrick Egu, go all the way. Patrick Egu from Nigeria, his first touchdown in the NFL.
A veritable diamond mine for the NFL.
Nigeria, that's where they find all the nightmares. Things began to get worse for Buffalo. Brett Williams knocks it loose from Kelly, and he also gets the recovery. Marv Levy sees another drive wasted. Could have been one of those days. New England returns the favor. Steve Grogan to Hartley Dykes, and Dykes just dribbles it off the knee, the big fumble. Martin Kelso finally comes up with the ball. Hartley Dykes goes to the sidelines knowing that that one got away. As Larry Kinnebrew converts for Buffalo at the start of the fourth quarter. Touchdown, 17-13 Bills. Hartley looking for redemption, and the Bills strike again, Tom.
Thurman Thomas, who you'll see lined up all over the place. Here is a wide out. Blows by. Maurice Hurst has the great hands, gets into the end zone, his second TD of the day.
24-13. New England then goes 68 yards in 3 plays. Grogan to Hartley Dykes. He gets his redemption for the touchdown, 24-20. Patriots gaining momentum.
Draw play to John Stevens, makes a nice cut, goes to the outside. John Stevens knows the way to the end zone.
126 yards. New England down by 4. Grogan to Cedric Jones for the touchdown. Hold everything, though. Take a look at this as they bring it back for holding, and the Patriots have to settle for Jason Starosky's 3rd field goal of the day. This one from 34 yards. Buffalo still leads at 24-23. So you figure the Bills are going to work the clock. No, they pass and they pay. Kelly's picked off by Maurice Hurst. Takes it in for the touchdown, 30-24 New England. The flag, though, was going the other way. Marv Levy discovers it's holding Buffalo. Patriots win it 33-24. 20 points in the last 8 minutes for the Patriots. The Bills, their second loss in the last 3 games. Patriots end a 2-game losing streak.
Game pitted the Cincinnati Bengals at home against the Buffalo Bills. This time, the 2 teams met in Buffalo, and the teams are struggling a little bit. The Bills at 7-4 did go into today's game at least tied for first in the AFC East. But at 6-5, Cincinnati, the Super Bowl team from the conference, was fighting for their playoff lives. Boomer Esiason had his problems right off the bat. Bills defense gave one away last week at New England.
Had the feeling all week this would be their day. Shane Conlon with the interception on Cincinnati's first possession. A big bill, and I do mean big, is ex-Cincinnati Bengal Larry Kinnebrew, who just bombed his way through the Bengal defense for 12 yards. A key play, setting up a field goal, Norwegian Wood. Scotty Norwood, 24 yards. The Bills lead it 3-0. A lot of battles between the battles involving some Pro Bowlers.
Well, here you see Scott Radicic starting in place of an injured Cornelius Bennett. Gets good penetration through the line and brings down James Brooks. He had a solid game all day. And then Anthony Munoz here takes on Bruce Smith, sort of. Smith showing his great power getting rid of him, but Brooks showing some power running through an arm tackle by Smith.
The guy who's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, Thurman Thomas. Pickup of 15 yards, 20 carries, 105 yards today. The sixth Bill to go over 1,000 yards rushing. And also Thurman, who leads football in all-purpose yardage, makes a nice play on a 20-yard pickup on a Jim Kelly pass. After that play, Kelly to another Pro Bowler to be and was last year. Andre Reed, touchdown. The Bills lead it 10-0. Sam Weish at the end of the half, look what happened to him. Bengals driving 19 seconds to go. Watch Bruce Smith simply leap over Max Montoya. Tries to get Esiason, has a hold of a face mask, so there's the flag. By the time the play is up, well, Nate Odoms picks it off, and then he's trying to rub and stumble all the way upfield to get the Bills a score at the end of the half. Now the clock is wound down, but the half cannot end on a defensive penalty. Red Cashin says the face mask, and here's the play.
You know, sometimes you're going to get the penalties for the mask. I think this was totally unintentional. The impressive thing, Bruce Smith going up about 5 feet in the air over the tackle.
And so the Bengals get another play. Jim Breach with a field goal. It's good. And offsides with Buffalo, so the Bengals will decline. It'll be 10-3 at the half. But surprise, when Weish went to the locker room, Marv and company protested the call. It was reviewed. And Tommy?
Movement by the defensive player, but no contact. That's the key.
And so the change.
We have on the last play a false start for the offense. The field goal is no good.
And with an offensive penalty, they don't get another play, and they take 3 points off the board. They have no choice. So when Sam came out for the second half, he said, what? We thought it was 10-3, now it's 10-0. James Brooks fumbled once in the first half, fumbles here in the second half, but Mark Kelso with a recovery at the 35-yard line of the Bills. Brooks with 105 yards on the day, but the 2 cough-ups. And just 2 plays later, Jim Kelly to his receiving back, Ronnie Harmon. This is a pretty fast Harmon knife through the secondary 42 yards, and he could go all the way for the touchdown. The fans are ecstatic. And look at Marv. It's the greatest day ever. The Bills 17-0 over their nemesis Bengals. The Bengals on a Stanford Jennings touchdown cut it to 17-7, but then Ted Marchibroda opens up the playbook. Andre Reed in the open field makes the move. Andre Reed so good this year in the open field, or after he makes the reception, in this case carrying the ball, picked up 23 yards. Jim Kelly couldn't find anybody, so Kelly is going to run the ball. He may not be nimble, he may not be quick, but he got the ball down to the 8-yard line. The Bills get the calls from the sidelines. Will it be Thurman Thomas? Will it be Andre Reed? Will it be Larry Kinnebrew? No, Kelly to Butch Roll. 3 touchdowns, shake, rattle, roll. Kelly with 3 touchdown passes on the day. And a little note on Butch Roll. 9 career receptions, 5 of them for touchdowns. The Bills over the Bengals 24-7. Meanwhile,
let me get around to the wager. 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line, and the catch is made, and that's Reed slipping tackles, getting inside the 30, the 20, the 10, and Andre Reed scores the touchdown, breaking tackles along the way.
Lock of the year, right? Well, that's why they play the games on the field and not on paper, and the field at Rich Stadium at Orchard Park, New York. The weather outside was frightful because players had to put up with the snow, and the Zambonis were out. Ricky Jackson having fun in the snow, and the sky was so delightful. Let it snow. That's what Buffalo was saying. Why not? But early on, there was an interception as Pat Swilling, having a season, picks off the ball from Keith McKellar and very early. The Saints are down to the 11th. 3 plays later, John Forcade making his first non-strike start. Hits John Tumbling Tice. 11-yard touchdown. PAT is missed, but the Saints lead it 6-0. Next possession, a beleaguered by Ricky Jackson. James Gathers in the fumble. Jim Mora says, we haven't packed it in. We would like to hurt the Bills' playoff chances. And they do when Forcade swings it to Dalton Hilliard.
And look at him freeze Leonard Smith as he goes by him. He's got a very low center of gravity, so any kind of weather, he's able to make the cut.
13-0 Saints. John Fourcade, a 300-yard day. Mora just felt it in his gut. It was Fourcade rather than Hebert. Marv Levy, whose team lost in Seattle on Monday night, says, wait a minute, it's cold. We should love it here. James Lofton, many years in the cold as a Packer, gathers in the bomb from Kelly, 42 yards. The Bills have closed to 13-6. Scott Norwegian Wood, forget it. He was looking for his 119th straight consecutive PAT. Forget it. No good, it's 13-6. Now Norwood, though, has hit a field goal, 13-9. Kelly to Thurman Thomas, who, unusual for him, just drops the ball, and you figure Thermal Thomas might have worn the undershirt today, but he said, I don't care if it's cold, I can play in it. A rare drop for Thurman, not Thermal Thomas. But the second half kickoff, the Saints have a problem. Gene Atkins misplays it. Mickey Sutton recovers it at the 2, and the tide is changing when play action. Kelly to Pete Metzelars. Touchdown, Buffalo leads 19-16. Second half, as you might expect, in the cold of Western New York, turnovers played a big part. Nate Odom's 5th interception of the year. Then, with the game tied at 19, the Bills on the move, but it goes off the hands of Thurman Thomas and Atoy Cooks.
A pass that I'm sure Kelly wishes he had back. Even though it was tipped, it was an ill-advised pass that close to the goal line.
And so Morton Anderson with a duck hook, but it makes it from 22 yards out. And the Bills couldn't muster a final drive. And the Saints really put a hurt on the Buffalo Bills, beating them 22-19, only the second team to win in Buffalo, other than the Bills, in the last 2 seasons. The Broncos did it earlier this year. Meanwhile, at the National Football League, took on the Buffalo Bills, a team that had lost 2 in a row, and a team that was badly in need of self-esteem. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas did some finger-pointing early in the week. They kissed and made up publicly on Thursday. Cornelius Bennett not playing again, neither is Joe Montana. That's your cast of characters. When you take Montana out, who is the best, you don't fall very much to Steve Young. He throws it long, but on this play, the Bills defense is there with Kelso. Mark Kelso making the catch in the end zone. Late in the first half, Bills defense stops Young on a 4th and goal, and Cornelius can't play, but he's psyched with his mates. They lead at 3-0 at the half. But to start the second half, more defense. Kelso with another interception. George Ziepert says, whoa, we don't want to lose our momentum. Jim Kelly lost his, though. Bad pass picked off by Bill Romanowski. Takes it down to the 23-yard line, and the Niners are in business. San Francisco went right to work. Roger Craig at 105 yards, goes over the 1,000-yard mark this season, and he's having a bad year. That'll set up from the 2. Craig behind Tom Rathman. 7-3, San Francisco. Ensuing kickoff, Ronnie Harmon cuts to the outside. Looks like he has a nice return going, but he coughs up the football. Antonio Goss recovers for the Niners. And the Niners offense goes right back to work. Craig sweeping left. Niners want to get this running game going. Last couple of weeks, it's a 14-yard pickup for first down. Roger over the C-note for the afternoon. That sets up Steve Young, who we know can move.
And Steve Young shows a dimension that Joe Montana really doesn't have right now, an ability to get out of the pocket. He spots the end zone, curls up over the football for a touchdown. And on Buffalo's next possession, Kelly's pass is tipped by Andre Reed, who had to go up a little bit to get it into the arms of Ronnie Lott. Ronnie here spotting the territory, trying to make a touchdown, trying to get it down the football field, as he becomes the 49ers' all-time interception leader with 48.
Breaking the mark by Jimmy Johnson. And so, Kelly at 265 passing yards, but 3 costly interceptions. And it took one play. Young, Jerry Rice, for the interception to backfire. 21-3 49ers. Bills have made it 21-10. And when they complete a pass, this time Reed fumbles it. Michael Walter recovers. Marv Levy stunned. As for the 3rd straight week, the Bills have lost at 21-10. And for Buffalo now, they have no shot of hosting a home playoff game, at least if they're going to win their division. They cannot host one because they would have a worse record than the Central champ. We know they have a worse record than the AFC West champ, the Broncos. Now, 2 things in this game, Tommy. 49ers wanted to keep the intensity up. They didn't want to lay back to the fact that, they sit back and lose momentum for the playoffs. For Buffalo, a win here was a tall order. but they really are on the serious skids.
Well, I think the win was a tall order today, and we talked about it. This was a game that they may have expected to lose, but I think with all the problems they've had during the week between Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly, they really have to be concerned about next week, and if they can come out and put all those things aside and get a victory.
Well, they're hoping that they get Cornelius Bennett back. He may not play against the Jets, but if they win the division, that would give him a couple more weeks off. Maybe they can be a force in the playoffs, but they're a team in search of a win. And the Niners, of course, they have the best record, 13-.
Steinberg, of course, the new GM, but Pat Leahy, 29-yard attempt, blocked by Talley. Cornelius Bennett looks like he has a touchdown, but then he falls all over himself, but the Bills still have the ball. Then Tony Eason, rough time with the snap. He fumbles. Once again, the Buffalo Bills are in there to recover. Joe Walton expressing his frustration in what possibly could have been his last game as head coach of the Jets. But it wasn't the end of their troubles. Tony Eason's pass is batted by Cornelius Bennett. He recovers. Another turnover. Minus 16 takeaway. You can understand the frustration. The Bills needed to win today. Andre Reed helps. All-time leading receiver today. Set a record of 1,311 yards, 6 for 80 today. Jim Kelly gets the ball off after the blitz. Larry Kinnebrew, though, is the man who punches it in from 1 yard, 10-0 Bills. Kelly makes it 17-0, 25-yard pass to James Lofton, who takes off down the sidelines. And for insurance, Kenneth Davis powers up the middle, breaks the tackles, 17 yards. The Jets look dismal, 37-0. Marv Levy, you did not need to help with the body English. The Bills win the AFC East title for the second straight year. And the Jets can only look forward to a Merry Christmas because they didn't have a very merry football season. Last year, they clinched against the Jets in week number 12. It took till week 16, but those Jets were there again. The Bills had lost 5 of 7. The Jets 4-12. They're worse since 1980. So Buffalo will face Cleveland in an AFC playoff game.
Now, the Bills' win ended the wildcard hopes of Seattle, which had needed nothing short of a miracle.
The decade begins with the first playoff game, Pittsburgh over Houston. The last playoff game in the 80s, Pittsburgh over Houston. It's a bookend decade. Thanks for watching this edition of Primetime. Have a Happy New Year, everybody. For Tom Jackson and Pete Axtell, we'd like to say thanks to our director, Jeff Wynn, who is leaving us after this show. He has the toughest job in TV. It's hard to make us look good. He has. We hope you've enjoyed it. See you in the 90s. I'm Chris Berman. So long. All clubs who stumbled till the end of the season, then found themselves to win their respective divisions in the AFC. The Cleveland Browns at 9-6-1, the Buffalo Bills at 9-7. You figured cold weather clubs playing in the cold weather, a 1917 game. No, not even close. Beautiful January weather at Cleveland Stadium. The dog pound, a little quiet early. Mark Trestman had some things up his sleeve as offensive coordinator. So did his counterpart of the Bills, Teddy Marchibroda. Nothing Marchibroda could do. The plays worked. Jim Kelly to Thurman Thomas, drop again on the first series. So next time, Kelly says, let me go to a guy I know can hold on to the ball. Pro Bowl wide receiver Andre Reed. Let's get it go. Forget the orange shoes on Minifield. 72 yards. The Bills scored first. They led it 7-0. But the Browns, well, they weren't stopped very often by the Buffalo defense. Bernie Kosar to Ozzie Newsome, throwing under the gut often. Ozzie caught 4 passes. There were 2 of them this time to another tight end, Ron Middleton. When the drive stalls, occasionally Art Still made a move and stopped Kevin Mack. But Cleveland's first drive, a 45-yard field goal attempt from Matt Barr, slips on the sand that Bruce Smith's called the Sahara Desert painted green with wind chill. It's a no-good field goal for 45 yards. But the Browns get going on the next drive. Kosar, Webster Slaughter. My goodness, those 2 hooked up for something shorter than 50 yards. Then Kosar to the Wizard of Oz. Was he playing his final game? We will see. On comes Matt Barr on the second drive. Another 45-yard field goal attempt. It's good. And the Bills' lead is cut to 7-3. Every time Cleveland had the ball, they moved. Second quarter, Kosar to Foghorn Langhorn for 16 yards. And then on 3rd and 15, they blitz the safety, blitz the opposite corner. Webster Slaughter wide open, 52 yards. Art Modell psych. The Browns lead at 10-7.
3rd and 15, Chris, you have to be thinking deep. Slaughter runs a little stop and go on Nate Odoms. Once he stops, touchdown. Great touch by Kosar.
Jim Kelly, cool as a cucumber. First time he threw to James Lofton, the venerable Lofton dropped the pass. This time Lofton hangs on with a 22-yard hookup. Again, Kelly pumps, rolls, has all day, finds Lofton, makes the move at the 3, touchdown, 33 yards, 14-10 Buffalo. But late in the first half, Cleveland had the ball. That meant they were on the move. Kevin Mack playing a big role, had 15 yards, 62 on the day. Back to the air, Kosar to Ozzie, catch is good. And on 1st and goal, Ron Middleton, backup tight end, got a big touchdown against Minnesota, catches a big one here, and boom! 17-14 Cleveland. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Kelly to Don Beebe, scary moment. As he's upended by Felix Wright, Beebe, fortunately, after some scary moments, was okay. On the play, though, a weird call.
Thought the refs made the one call that it couldn't have been. They called it incomplete. It should have either been a catch, dead when he hit the ground, or an interception after he fumbled.
Well, they called neither. They just called it the incompletion. Second half started for the Bills, with Cleveland leading 17-14. This one, Kelly, after being on the mark all first half, underthrew Mark Harper, intercepted. And that set up. Bernie Kosar was 20 of 29 for 251 to wide open Webster Slaughter. Another touchdown on 3rd and long. This one was on 3rd and 8, 24-14. Why was he wide open, Tom?
Untimely double up. The defenders were designed to take the outside guy and the inside guy. They both bit on the inside guy, results in an easy touchdown for Cleveland.
But Buffalo thought they could come back and tell a fair bit. So after a mistake-free first half, interception and a fumble, this time by Kinnebrew, and the Browns in business. But then they cough it up. Kevin Mack with a fumble. Kosar misses it, trying to protect his elbow or something. Mark Calzo falls on the ball for the Bills. And then on 3rd and goal, following the fumble, Kelly, Thurman Thomas, holds on, 7 yards. Bills within 3, 24-21. Now on the ensuing kickoff from Scott Norwood, keep in mind, the last 2 years, the Bills have had the best mark of opposing return yardage on kickoff. The lowest average, except here. Forget it. Gone. Eric Metcalf, the only guy that grazed him was Norwood. Let's get him go. First postseason kickoff return ever for the Cleveland Browns. First they've had in 3 years in any game. Metcalf goes 90 yards, hits 31-21. Way to go, Art, right? But in the fourth quarter, Art would sit down because Kelly and Thomas, 28-yard hookup. Which brings in Scott Norwood. When the drive stalls, now he kind of just punches this one, but the 30-yarder is good, and the Bills trail by a touch, 31-24. Clock on the Browns side, but plenty of time. Matt Barr, 46-yarder in the sand. And it's good, and the Browns are back up by 10, 34-24. The Bills are finished, right? No, sir. Kelly to Thurman Thomas. 15 yards as he beats Clay Matthews. Then to Ronnie Harmon, they're backing up.
Well, it's a good job by the backs after they caught the ball by getting outside, because the linebackers are designed, by design, want to keep those runners inside.
And on the 3, Kelly to Thurman Thomas, who caught 13 for 150. Only rushed for 27 yards, 34-30, but on the extra point, watch Norwood slip. And instead of down by 3, they're down by 4. 34-30 after the block. The Bills trying onside kick. It went out of bounds, and they end up kicking the ball deep. The Browns finally punted, and the Bills get it back. Under 2 minutes to go, Kelly to Harmon. 9 yards. On 4th and 10, Bills spend their final timeout. And it's worth it. The hookup from Kelly to Beebe. 13 yards and a first down. Kelly to Thomas. Doesn't pick up the first, but stops the clock. Then on 4th and 1, Kelly to Reed. 7 yards. Drive alive. Kelly to Thomas with 26 seconds to go, 11 yards. On 2nd and goal, how many times you're going to get a guy open by a step and a half? You figure only once in the red zone. This was it. To Ronnie Harmon. 1, 2, but no ball. Incomplete. Incomplete. So on 3rd and goal, you figure he's got to force it. He does. Clay Matthews steps in front of Thurman Thomas, saving the day for the Browns and owner Art Mordell, ruining the day for Marv Levy. Clay Matthews, the hero, with the interception on the 1 as the Browns hold back the Buffalo Bills 34-30 in what was supposed to be a low-scoring game. And afterward, the head dog said, phew.
It feels really good to win one like that. We needed it. It came right down to the wire too, and this is a big win for our football team, and we get a chance again to play in the championship.
But it's like playing blackjack, you know. They got about $5,000 on the table, and the dealer has a face card showing. You just hate for them to turn that card over, and that's how I felt. You hate for them to throw a pass in the end zone like the one to the back and drop. But when he dropped the ball, you know, we felt that we were destined to go.
No, it's never over till the fat lady sing, and it's not over yet.
And neither is Ozzy's career. It is not over yet. It may be, just maybe, Ozzie Newsome will have that one shot that's eluded him in his illustrious career at the Super Bowl. And the Cleveland Browns, what would have happened if they lost a ball game like this in the end? More on that later. But we said on game day, Tommy, this morning you would talk with Kevin Mack. The Browns put all their eggs in one basket. They said Mack could run the ball. He did. I'm sure you can write down he threw the interception on the final throw of the game for him to Clay Matthews. But, Tommy, he threw the ball with authority all day long. Forget the fact that he had 400 yards. I thought he had command, and I thought he saw the field very well, better than he has.
An outstanding day by Kelly, especially under the kind of pressure he's been under the last month of the season. But I counted 8 drops during the day, and the funny thing is no one would remember the first 7 if Harmon had held on to the 8th.
Another sign of the Bills' great mental alertness today was in the waning moments when they desperately needed a sack. Darryl Talley got one and went into a wild celebration before he bothered to stop and call a desperately needed timeout. Am I criticizing Talley? Well, I just called Eric Metcalf Terry, his father's name. I'd like to think that's just a sign of getting more dignity, not getting old.
Both Terry and Eric, though, are celebrating today. And the thought about the Browns, you know, they started the 80s with the pass, with Brian Snipe, I call him Snipe, Ronaldo Snipes, right? Picked off by Mike Davis. Then we had the drive, then you had the fumble, you almost had the lateral, you almost had the gag, but you didn't. The Browns win a game late, thanks in part to Kevin Mack. Last 4 games when he's been in there, Browns have gone 3-1. Their yards are way up, their points are way up, and their spirits are way up. They're